here we are. We have liftoff, I hope. So right now we are playing Standard Replenish. We're going to try and run it through a league. So the deck that we have is Standard Replenish. Let me get the list up. Okay. So this is the list. Figure out how to minimize it a little bit. Alright, so we have Porphyry Nodes, 3 Source Plowshares, 4 Brainstorm, 2 Spell Pierce, 1 Spell Snare, Elixir of Immortality, that's our 1-drop slots. And it's pretty relatively basic, except for obviously Elixir and Porphyry Nodes. Porphyry Nodes mostly used because we're a standstill and Replenish deck with Starfield Mix as well. And then Elixir of Immortality is a way that we can prevent ourselves from milling out, and also gives us some life points back against stuff like Burn, other aggressive decks and whatnot. So that's that. 2-drop slot, we got Jason's Prodigy. Just a nice little way to cycle through our deck. It actually adds us a little bit of a quicker win condition because we a lot of times aren't very aggressive. We have to go on the mill plan. So Jace Finn's Prodigy with an ultimate helps us out with that. Pull that to the front in case any of you don't know what it does. I don't know how to preview cards here. So like the flip side goes up to 1 target creature gets -2/-0 until your next turn. It can help against aggressive decks as well, especially Burn with like Goblin Guides, Swift Spears, whatnot. -3 allows us to essentially flashback a card, so it's -3 you can cast target instant or sorcery from your graveyard this turn. If that card put in your graveyard from exile, put back in your graveyard, exile instead. -9 you get an emblem with whenever you cast a spell, target opponent puts the top 5 cards of his or her library in his or her graveyard. So that's been really great, especially for casting spells and just fighting on the stack and whatnot. It allows us to get the mill plan a lot easier, in which case we can crack a bunch of our own standstills and finish the job. So we have 2 Search for Azcanta for anyone that's not familiar with that card. It is the new flip card from Ixalan, one of the legendary enchantments. At the beginning of your upkeep, you look at the top card of your library. You may put it into your graveyard. Then if you have 7 more cards in your graveyard, you may transform it into... You may put it into your graveyard. Then if you have 7 more cards in your graveyard, you may transform it into... You may put it into your graveyard. So it has tap, add blue to your mana pool. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or a non-creature, non-land card from among them, put in your hand, put the rest of the bottom of your library in any order. So it's been really good. Also, if you get it down early, you can ramp yourself a little bit, like say turn 4 or 5. You have 7 cards in your graveyard, little flip, rejoin queue. So I couldn't find an opponent my first attempt. I'll finish up this. A pair of counterspells. Counterspells, great, just to make sure that you can just hard counter whatever it is your opponent's casting. It doesn't fall off late in the game, like something like a Spell Pierce or Daze Might. And really what we're looking for is the long game. We're looking for cards that will fairly always just give us the desired outcome. So like Counterspell, Source Plowshares, things of that nature. Snapcaster Mages, obviously. Bring back spells. Looks like we have found our match. We're going to have to come back to this. Crystal World is just a great way to rebuy Wastelands and stuff. Jason Mind Sculptor, awesome control card, so much card advantage. Supreme Verdict is just like a kind of oh crap button just to take care of everything. I'll go into some of the card choices and stuff as we're playing it and stuff, whatnot. Alright, I rolled a 3, I rolled a 1, so I'm on the draw. His hand is very weak. Porphyry Nose is nice and all, but I don't think it's going to particularly get there. Yeah, the gong symbol sound is MTGO, okay. This we're going to mulligan, because this is very weak. This is really rough. We only have 1 land. Generally, I always say with this deck, don't keep 1-landers. We have forced like their turn 1 play if we need to. If we don't need to, hopefully we can Skyland to the top. So I'm gonna mulligan because 1 land with that hand is just terrible. This is a much more workable hand, so we're gonna try it. Not great, but our scry at the top is gonna be Search for Azcanta, which is amazing. We're gonna draw that first turn, which is nice. Right off the bat, we're getting probed. That's not a great sign. Looking at most likely either Grixis Delver or Storm, leaning more towards Storm. Let's see what happens, I guess. Second probe leans me closer towards Storm, because they probably kept like a no-land hand with a couple probes, maybe a cantrip of some sort. And they're just trying to dig down to get that land. Yeah, Chrome Mox, so we're looking at TES, or TES, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, definitely TES. The Rite of Flames, it's pretty obvious. Pirate Ritual, okay, I think we're looking at Char Belcher then. Which means we are definitely dead. Because if they have Empty the Warrens, we're way too slow to compete with it. They don't have a command to activate, do they have the LED? So now we're looking to stop a top deck LED at this point. They could get like a Tinder Wall and they're one land. So at this point, that's what we're worried about. But I think we can shut this down. We're not going to be able to do anything about the Char Belcher, but we can keep them off the mana, hopefully. So end step, we're just going to crack this, immediately fire off this Brainstorm. So we need to try and dig for some type of permission. They're not going to play Wasteland, obviously, so Tundra's perfectly fine to get. So far, our opponent's not the fastest player, but that's fine. Yeah, MTGO sounds are awful, so while our opponent's taking their sweet time doing what they're doing, we're going to go ahead and get rid of all these sounds, because I don't care about the sounds. Look at that. There we go. I think that's enough to do. So there we go. Alright, my opponent finally passed priority, so we're back in the game. Cast this Brainstorm. Standstill's nice. I don't particularly want the double planes, but there's not much we can do about that right now. It is still land, so it works, I guess. Let's see. We'll draw one of the wastelands. Yeah. Well, hopefully we're not just dead. Hopefully we can top deck like a Force of Will or something. We're definitely going to need it to make sure that they can't just activate this Char Belcher. It's going to be basically dodge the Char Belcher activation this whole game, which will not be fun. Fortunately, they will have to. Play a spell in order to activate that. So we have to stand still down. We have a better chance of countering whatever it is they end up drawing to activate and kill me. Speak into the mic or activate, or turn it up. Okay. I think my mic's actually already turned up. So let me see here. Yeah, it's already all turned up. So I'm going to have to put the mic a little closer to my mouth. Sorry, I've had a lot of complaints about my talking being too loud on MTGO, so it's kind of where that comes from. We're obviously not going to let them draw more cards with Standstill. So we won't be casting spells into this. We're just going to build up a hand and eventually, hopefully, just get there. Definitely going to want to Jace soon. We're going to need to shut them down. I don't know what they're waiting on. Hey, cat, get your ass out of the way from the fridge. There we go. Sorry, I need to grab a water. Something tells me I need it with all this tacking. Yeah, I moved the mic a little closer to my mouth. I think that was the problem. I think the sound on Skype is a lot better than the sound on OBS, so usually my mic settings are a little bit lower and the mic's not close to my mouth because I usually Skype when I play games with a friend, so. Oh, you're watching on PS4? That's probably your fault then, Rich. Oh, Jace. We don't have the means to play that yet. That's so unfortunate. Let's see. Oh, as soon as we can crack the standstill, as soon as they crack the standstill, hopefully we can counter whatever it is they cast. If we can counter whatever it is that's given them mana to activate their Char Belcher, we should hopefully. There's a Force of Will, it's just what we needed. No second blue source, unfortunately, though. So we are going to force that. We kind of don't really have a choice. I think we just pitched the. I think we pitched Jace Finn's Prodigy here. I'd love to pitch the Search for Azcanta, but that can be a land that digs us really deep later, and we're going to need something along those lines to make sure we don't just die. So we're going to keep the Search for Azcanta so we don't just die off the top. Still no second blue source, so it's really unfortunate. Source of Plowshare is real miserable, but we're not going to get rid of it. The moat could come in handy if our opponent ends up going the Empty the Warrens plan, which they won't because they just activate Charbelcher. I guess if they fail in the activation of Charbelcher, that's something. I'm starting to think I need an answer to Enchantment's main board, because this is no bueno. So let's just play that second Standstill, play a Wasteland, which doesn't matter. So yeah, it's going to be a slow and weird game. Okay, so they're cracking our Standstill again. We can't do anything about the Rite of Flames, so we basically just have to hope they completely miss on their Charbelcher activation. If they miss on it, we are possibly okay. But 16 cards, and it ended up being a land, so it's mountain, so yeah, we're dead. Alright. That was game 1. Game 2. So we have some options. We got these Leylands and Sanctities we can use to stop their Charbelcher activations. These Flusterstorms keep them off the stack. We got this Orb of Silence, which will help keep them from being able to cast a Charbelcher or whatnot. Porphyry Nodes, Source of Plowshare is all miserable here. Those easy come out. I think we keep in at least one moat just because there's a good chance if they go on the Empties plan, we want to have that. I don't think we bother with Supreme Verdict. So I'm going to also add Sealed Cleansing in case we end up in a situation like we did that last game, where they're stuck on like Chrome Mox, or if they have like Charbelcher, we can just wreck the Charbelcher. What's up, Johnny Carrot? I'm assuming that's you. I'm not the bitch ass. You're the bitch ass. I do miss your face too, so we should definitely get together soon. I mean, we know we're against Belcher. We got Force, Flusterstorm. We got blue card for Force. We got lands, so we're gonna keep this hand real easy. Hoping we draw something like a Standstill or whatnot, so we can, so we can get some card advantage going and not have to worry about them having too much for us to fight through. Because that would obviously be really unfortunate. I don't want to die. I don't think anyone does. Thanks for joining, Johnny Curd. Glad to see you in here. It's definitely been way too long. Tell Kayla I said hi. What else we got in this chat here? Brains 468. That sounds really familiar. Is that Adam, maybe? Or maybe, no, is that not Adam? That might be Peter. Let's see, Johnny Curd. Rich Stein from Hips to the Coast. Don't care about that. Hurlman, I'm assuming that's Matt Hurley. So good to have you in here. I don't know if we can let this Rite of Flame resolve, because once that resolves, they'll have the mana for Empty the Warrens, and right now our hand can't beat an Empty the Warrens. So I'm gonna have to just go ahead and Flusterstorm that. Or maybe I just force that, I don't know. I do have Flusterstorm, so I guess I can beat Empty the Warrens, so we just let that resolve. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's see. I don't know who Nickfit is. Optimus, that's Zach. Soul Perry, the evil mailman. I don't know any of these people. Huh. Astral Stride's a great deck. I'm not even going to lie. Alright, so we're going to force the Seething Song, because I don't want them to have that much mana. And that'll stall them out. Now they're down to 3 cards in hand. Land Grant, I don't care about that. They can have their land if they want. Let's see what we got here for spells. So they have 2 mana, that's 3 mana, so Tinderwall, and then put them back up to 4. So if they just cast Empty the Warrens here, we're perfectly fine with that. We're just going to Flusterstorm, and then they're pretty much dead in the water. I just got to make sure I do this Flusterstorm right, so if I ignore chat for a bit, give me a little bit of leeway here, because this is not going to be easy for me. I've never actually cast a Flusterstorm. Ah, there we go. They just scooped, so that made it easy. So I couldn't punt there, so that's awesome. Because I was definitely expecting to punt there. Again, I think we keep with what we just did. Having the Aura of Silence, so if they have a slower hand they have to mull a couple times, seems nice because it shuts down their Chrome Moxes, it makes their Charbelcher too costly, their LEDs, stuff like that. Steel Cleansing, just like in Game 1, if they can storm up to Charbelcher but they have to wait on mana to activate, Steel Cleansing is just an easy out there. Sanctities, again, protect us against Charbelcher. Again, keeping in the moat, because in the event they go Goblins and we don't have the Flusterstorm, we can just plop a moat onto the board. I'd rather cut it, but at the same time, I think it is necessary enough to keep. So I'm going to keep it and just run this back. This hand's not perfect. I'd probably mull it. We do have 2 blue sources, so we have access to counterspell. If our opponent doesn't mulligan, I'm definitely going to mulligan. If our opponent does mulligan, I might just keep this, because there's a good chance that they're going to be slower. They didn't keep, so we're going to mulligan. This hand's probably worse than the first. I can't picture in the world why we would keep this hand. It sucks that we're not going to be able to keep it, but oh well. So mulligan has Force, Snap, Jace, Plains, Wasteland. That's awkward, but the Force is there, so we do have to keep it. Scry, we're going to keep the Tundra on top because we need the blue source. Alright, let's do this. See what my opponent has for me. So we're starting with the lowest pedal. Here's the Rite of Flame most likely. Elvish Spirit Guide and lowest pedal. 2 mana, 3 mana, Seething Song. They have 3 cards in hand. I think... what are the odds they just go empty here? I think we just force this, because they just go empty here. Again, our hand's in a situation where we can't just beat that. Unfortunately, I think we pitched the Jace the Mind Sculptor, because we're definitely several turns away from that, and Snapcaster Mage later can flashback like a Spell Pierce or something, so that's a little more on the horizon where we can actually do it for now. So we get Tundra down, and we're just passing turn back, basically. We have no interaction, so we're just going to F6 through their turn. For me, it's just 6, actually, but I know people are used to the F6. Let's see here. So we're getting probed. Given everything they committed to that first turn, I can't picture, like, we're just going to be dead here. But obviously they're probably just a couple cards off from killing us. Or at least setting up a board state where they kill us. Which I don't like, but there's nothing much we can do about that. Brainstorm's good. I'm happy to see that. I think we just play the Wasteland here, because they end up just going Land Grant for a Taiga or something. We'll just get that out of the way right away. Okay. On their end step, we're going to Brainstorm naturally. Hopefully we can fix up our hand a little bit. I do want to Brainstorm on their end step, because if on our turn we don't have another blue source and we draw something like a counterspell, we won't be able to cast it. I mean, that's perfect. I'm definitely going to put Plains Snapcaster back. It's not perfect, but it's fine. We're obviously just going to jam Standstill here, and I might actually cast Snapcaster Mage first just to get something into play to start pressuring them into having to kill us. But I don't know if that's worth it or not. I think I want to hold up for the Brainstorm, actually. I don't have the mana for that right now, though. Oh well. See what happens. I know I don't want to draw that Plains on top, so I'm gonna crack this fetch right now, so we don't have to worry about forgetting and drawing a land that doesn't matter on their turn when they cast their first spell. I'd rather not draw Plains if I can help it at this point. We have the mana for everything in our deck right now. We can play a Moat if they end up getting an Empty the Warrens down. We can play Jace the Mind Sculptor if they haven't done anything, except for like a cantrip or something. We can cast our counter spells, our Spell Pierces, our Fluster Storm, so having up 2 blue mana seems real good to me, and I think not playing Snapcaster there was fine. There's a chance on their end step I probably should just flash in Snapcaster to save the mana to get the clock going, but I think Snapcaster is more valuable in my hand given the situation than in play. And we're actually getting close to Snap Force mana, so that's actually nice. So here's the Land Grant. That's definitely going to resolve because I don't care about that card. Aura of Silence is nice. Aura of Silence, if they don't just kill us here, Aura of Silence means they won't be able to kill us most likely. And again, we can use our Wasteland to just take care of this Taiga to keep them off mana. I am going to Brainstorm in response to this Chrome Mox. Okay, so yeah, we're pretty golden here. We got the Force and Spell Snare now, so we don't care about that Chrome Mox whatsoever. I think at this point here, we probably just win. I don't care about LED because we're not using anything like a Spell Pierce that LED is going to matter with. If this is a 2-mana spell, which would be nice, we have to force this. So we're going to force that, pitching that. If they try and follow up with like a Pyric Ritual or something at some point, we have the Spell Snare for that, which is nice. Kind of sucks we don't have this Aura of Silence down yet, because they were able to get away with all that, but we're going to get rid of this Taiga now. And then we're going to get this Aura of Silence down. White, blue. I don't think the extra white matters being up, but this will keep our opponent off their artifacts. And we can also force them to crack their LED, keeping them short on mana if we really felt like that. I'm feeling fairly kind tonight, so I don't think I'm going to do that. But it is very tempting. If I top deck a Replenish, that LED's going bye-bye. Yeah, that's right. We put 2 lands back from the Brainstorm. That's unfortunate. But they're very low on cards, and again, most of their mana at this point is going to be from stuff like Lion's Eye Diamond, Lotus Petal, Chromox. They do have a lot of rituals left in their deck, which is unfortunate. It's the Eye of the Taiga, yeah. That's awesome. Thank you for that, Aaron. I really appreciate that. I was worried you weren't going to come through, but then that joke came up, and now I'm just like, I don't know why I had doubts. Sorry, brother. Glad to see you came in here, though. Thank you, Aaron, for joining. Yeah, I don't know why Twitch is saying Astral Slide. I changed it the other day to Standard Replenish. So I'm not really sure what the deal with that is. Okay, well, Leyline at least removes the Belcher kill from their possible kills to us. So if we can find a moat, we are definitely good. Let's just hope. If they don't do anything in their main, I think I'm just going to hit that LED in their upkeep, in their combat step. Because I can't allow them to have that mana up. Oh no, I just let that resolve, didn't I? Oh, I am a twat. Oh, don't have Empty the Warrens. Please don't have Empty the Warrens. I'll get super greedy and cast like a 2-mana spell instead. Oh no. What have we done? Luckily it's only 6 goblins. We can definitely race that. I'm going to try stop drawing lands. I know what my luck is like, so I don't think not drawing lands is going to be... You know, this might help us find something. I'm definitely not going to go after their goblin tokens with this Jace. I'm definitely going to be brainstorming. I don't care if they kill it next turn, just as long as my brainstorm reveals something useful. I don't care. Like I could tick it up. That's not going to help us. So Standstill's going to go back, and Forcible's going to go back. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Ugh, maybe I should have kept in the extra moat and the Supreme Verdicts. Let's see if they go after Jace. If Jace can at least be... If Jace at least acts like a fog for 3 of those a turn, I'm actually perfectly fine with that. So it looks like, yeah, it looks like Jace is going to take 3 and I'm going to take 3. So we're going to kind of have like a semi-fog there, which is fine. Okay. The unfortunate part is we know what our next 2 draws are and they don't help us. Celestial Colonnade would be great right now. Yeah. Give them a combat step. We're just going to 6 because we have nothing to do really. Actually, I shouldn't 6 just in case they do something in our main phase. Land Grant. I can't picture you have another land in your deck, but we're going to spell snare that anyway. Because I don't want you to possibly have a land. We can't play Standstill because we're going to have to cast a spell otherwise. So that's going to stay in our hand for now. And let's just see what happens here, I guess. I don't know why they're still casting spells, but we're not going to let that happen, so I can stop that. I'd really love to find a Supreme Verdict remote right now. Trying to think. I guess Elixir doesn't buy us a turn. What else do we have is out? It's nothing really. Let's see what happens. So we have a Snapcaster Mage. I mean, it's a start. Snapcaster can hit a Brainstorm, which can allow us to hopefully dig. Okay, let's try this. No such luck there. It's all real bad. So, I guess that's just our we lose. Ugh, that sucked. Guess I probably should have just... I don't know what I should have dropped. Maybe a Jace. Maybe one Jace the Mind Sculptor, one Jace Frim's Prodigy. And kept in 2 Supreme Verdicts, just because they do a really good job at fighting against Empty the Warrens, which is really the main game plan we we have trouble beating because the force isn't good enough to beat it. I lost the die roll again, which is my usual. Evil plays guitar. Was that someone in the chat? No? That wasn't someone in the chat. Okay. They kept... I do like this hand. As long as it's not Belcher again, we're pretty good. We do have the Brainstorm, though, if they don't just go right off. The punt on letting the pillar resolve. Oh, what the hell is this crap? Really? Is Belcher just like a huge thing now? Or what is this? Is this TS? Yeah, I definitely should have spelled Stand of the Pillar of Flame. Oh, this deck. That's not good for us. So I recently had to play against this deck, and got crushed. Cavern of Souls is real good when the spells you're trying to resolve, when the spells you're trying to cast are counter to magic to counter your opponent's stuff. So this is not great. But we'll top deck something like a Caracas. That'd be nice. This is Big Thalia. We're pretty much probably just dead. Nope, not yet. Oh yeah, no, the Pyretic Ritual was the card I didn't counter with the Spell Snare when I had the chance. That was definitely a mistake. What are we getting for equipment here? Sword of Fire and Ice. That card's real good against me. Not perfect, but it's real good. So I'm definitely playing a second island here. Alright, let's see. So my Little Jace, if I cast it now, is not going to be blocking anything. If they draw another land, Little Jace is just as good as dead. I think we cast it. I think we put it out here right now this turn. If they can't put in and equip the Sword of Fire and Ice, then Jace can help maybe combat some of it. I'm not really, yeah, Ancient Tomb. Not feeling great about this. Oh boy. This game is brutal so far. Ugh. Oh, jeez. Yep. So we're not even going to have a chance to block here. So, chances are Jace is dying. I can't picture the Thalia doesn't hit this Jace, but maybe we get lucky. I mean, we need like a Caracas here. Real bad. Yeah, a little Jace is dying there. Does save us 2 points of damage from the Thalia though, so that's nice. Oh, man. These Stompy decks. And we're drawing more land again. I can't seem to help but draw land. So I'm going to cast a Brainstorm here. Chance I should have waited on the land just in case we draw Caracas, but I don't think it's that relevant. Yeah, a lot of these are bad. We definitely want to fetch some of this away. I'm going to put the Tundra back because if they do play a big Thalia, I don't want to have to worry about having tapped lands come into play. But I am just going to get a Plains in case I have Wasteland because I want this Swords of Plowshares to be able to connect with that Thalia. Let's see what our opponent's doing. Don't play something else that's really good. How do they still have 4 cards in hand? Only Stoneforge replaced that self-power. That's weird. Lucky them. Yep, here comes Thalia. Here comes 6 points of damage. Stoneforge didn't attack, which leads me to believe there's a chance the Stoneforge Mystic has another piece of equipment to drop into play, which I feel like would have just suited up to Thalia, but I might be wrong. Yeah, this is really unfortunate. It's going to be a beating here. There's their own Caracas to protect from Source Plowshares, so that's lovely. Yeah, another Stoneforge Mystic, so yeah, they were holding this up to get another piece of equipment into play. Oh boy. I'm assuming they probably want to save the damage from Ancient Tomb, so they might just use Caracas to get that into play. I don't really know what exactly is going to happen here. I feel like I'm just going to play this Wasteland. And I'm gonna try and kill off this Caracas. Try and get them to tap it. If I can get them to tap that now, they can't protect Thalia, but Batterskull's still gonna kill me, so I don't know. I think we're just dead here. I don't know if we bother with this game anymore. Yeah, I think we just concede to just maybe hide some type of information. I don't know if it's relevant, but that was pretty brutal. We definitely bring in extra copies of Porphyry Nodes here. We're going to need Council's Judgment, Seal Cleansing, Aura Silence to handle all their equipment and whatnot. Cards that aren't great here. I don't like the Baby Jace because they run Caracas. There's a very good chance that that never becomes relevant. The moats, I think, are decent enough here. They do have Lead and Relic Warder, as we learned, because they exiled it to Chrome Mox, but I think that's fine. Counterspell, Spell Pierces aren't great, because they're just going to hit Chalice pretty much, but we have like Spell Snare and like Force and Counterspell for that. I am actually going to trim a Counterspell on that note, just because I don't think it's going to be that relevant. What else do we trim? I'm not that experienced with this matchup, so this is going to be a little odd, probably. I'm going to trim a Jace and I think on the play we're going to trim a Force. On a draw we might bring it back in to help prevent if we do see Chalice, but I haven't seen Chalice yet, so I'm not going to just assume that they are a Chalice deck. I mean, we'll keep this. We got most of the interaction we want early in the game. And if we can counter their first card, so if they go like land Chrome Mox Thalia again, we counter it with Spell Snare. And then we just slam a Jam of Standstill to get the card advantage off it. So I think that we're okay with this hand. And we do fetch a basic if they reveal Wasteland to us. If we have to. So I hope everyone's night's going well. My night so far is not starting out great in this league. First time back streaming with a brand new deck on MTGO. So it's interesting. Yeah, you got a Chrome Mox. So I don't think this Spell Snare is going to be relevant. But if they put a new Thalia on the stack, I'm going to fetch in response just Tundra, and then Source Plowshares it. Vryn Wingmare. What the heck is this crap? Yeah, I mean, we can't stop that from hitting, because we don't have the right counter magic. This deck is so awkward. Okay, Porphyry Nodes works, so I think we have to get a Tundra here, unfortunately, just because we're going to want to be able to cast our blue spells. But we're going to get this Porphyry Nodes in play, and hope they just keep jamming creatures into it to die. If they don't jam creatures into it to die, that's fine, because we'll just... At least we kill that, we can then tap out for something else, which is nice. We'll see what happens here. Don't have Wasteland. That would make me real sad. Okay, second Ancient Tomb, so they have mana. Could be a Batterskull coming, for all we know. This is a Batterskull. I think we just gem Standstill after this dies, and just let this take care of the germ after taking one hit. I think that's perfectly fine. We can probably handle that. New Thalia, that's actually okay. So we can answer that with just one card. If we top deck a land, that means we can answer this New Thalia and jam and Standstill. Another land would be very nice. Phyrexian Evoker, I don't think is relevant at this moment. What are you naming? Probably either Big Jace or Little Jace, I'm not sure. They saw Little Jace, so they probably could assume that Big Jace is there. Yeah, they're assuming that and naming it, which is probably appropriate. Wingmare's anti-sick moat tech. Yeah, Wingmare if have flying is very important to note for the fact that we do run moat. I mean, the Wingmare is just going to die here to my Porphyry Nodes anyway, so I'm not too worried about that card. They're probably just going to kill Wingmare. Swords of Thalia. Okay. Okay. We're going to kill the Wingmare. So we just drew Big Jace. That's delightful. Still need another land real bad. Let me think. So we're going to take 5 when they swing. Next turn they lose Revoker. We're going to be at 12. Then we'll go to 9. We'll draw some cards if we jam a Standstill here. So I think I'm just going to jam Standstill here. I don't know if it's perfect, but it's probably better than... it's probably better than the fact that we just keep missing land drops and Swords Plowshares will just answer 1 now. I think we can take the extra turn to take some damage. They're going to have to tap out for cards and cast spells with this Porphyry Nose in play, so we're just going to jam the Standstill, hope they start crashing spells into it. And there's the Cavern of Souls, which I hate. It makes this match really tough. Yeah, we're obviously taking 5 here, though. Hoping they crack my Standstill so I can just Swords whatever they cast. I will most likely be wastelanding that Cavern of Souls too, because I do not want that in play. Yeah. Okay. You have a Mother of Runes. That's perfectly fine. Hey, look, another Porphyry Nodes, which actually gets around Mother of Runes. No land, though. If I can top deck a land on my turn, playing another Porphyry Nodes, Standstill sounds real good, but that Batterskull does create problems. Man, found too much land last game, and this game has just been brutal otherwise. Yeah, I'm just going to Swords this Mom now, because I don't want my Porphyry Nodes to just hit the 1/1 that can't protect against Porphyry Nodes anyway. And then Noja's just going to hit the Phyrexian Revoker. I hope that wasn't... Oh, Brainstorm, come on. Oh boy. So that's going to be 7 we take, putting us to 5. They'll end up taking 4, putting us to 1. Yeah, we're in trouble. We needed to draw land there real bad. We've drawn like 7 cards and haven't seen a single land. I don't want to sack this Wasteland to take care of that Cavern, but we don't have Counter Magic anyway, so I don't know if it's even relevant. So we're just going to have to say go. Jesus. Oh, I have 7 cards in here. Look at that. This isn't shut down. I don't think we're ever going to have the mana for that to save us on this board state, so I think Jace just has to go away. We have 2 more in the deck, so we'll draw them. I'm not worried about that. Buried Ruin? Are you kidding me? What the hell is this crap? What is this deck? I have not seen this before. This is way different than Soldier Stompy, if I'm correct on that. This looks like the deck in Vintage, the Mono White Hate Bears or whatever. With Batterskulls, I don't know. I don't know how to describe this. This is odd. So we can draw land, kill Thalia, use Aura of Silence, sack and kill the Batterskull. We can stay at 5 for at least a couple turns. Buried Rune getting back... Probably Phyrexian Revoker is going to be rough on us. Yeah. Yeah, you get a Revoker back. Oh boy. You know that gif where there's the kid on the bicycle and it's like the kid rides into the woods or whatever? That's how I feel right now. Buried Rune does get back Chalices as well, that's true. Oh, that's going to protect their Revoker from Porphyry Nodes. That's not good. Or their Thalia is going to be protected from Porphyry Nodes because of that. Okay, well, let's see what we can top deck here. So that comes untapped with Thalia in place, so we're just probably dead here. I don't know if there's anything that saves us at this point. We need like basic land, basically. We don't have it, so that's another loss. Sweet. Alright. League's not going great so far. That's fine. Deck's interesting. We're having some fun, I think. So a little more about the deck before I start my next game, since I started this and then the league match finally got found. So we're on 23 lands because obviously as a standstill deck, our lands matter. We're trying to cast like 4 drops like Jace, Supreme Verdict Moat. We also want our standstills to be like doing something relevant for us where we can't cast spells, so we want to be able to draw as many lands as possible, build our mana while we fill our hand. until hopefully our opponent breaks and cracks a standstill, so we get the card advantage off it. And as part of that package, we have the Celestial Colonnade, which enters the battlefield tapped. It's basically a Tundra, but it's has 3 white-blue until in turn it becomes a 4/4 white and blue elemental creature token, or a creature with flying and vigilance. It's still land. And then Fairy Conclave is the mono-blue variant of that, back from Urza's block, Urza's Legacy, I believe. And it enters battlefield tap, just taps for a blue, and it has 1 in a blue. It becomes a 2/1 blue fairy creature token with flying until end of turn. That's still a land. So neither of these cards, even though they have 0 converted mana cost, can be hit by Abrupt Decay, which is nice. The other benefit of both these cards, as you notice, they both have flying. So if we have a moat in play, these can act as win conditions, which is obviously a benefit when our opponent's locked out and can't fly over. So for our main board, we have 2 moats. So I've been playing in paper, and I've really liked it. Moat's done a lot to help a fight against like the Leovold decks and whatnot, where like Baleful Strix is their only flyer, and maybe a click post board or whatever, or maybe a click main board even. Moat really helps slow down our opponents. Counter spells, hard counter just like Force. Counter spell obviously costs 2 blues, so it's a little slow, but it doesn't have the card disadvantage of Force, exiling a blue card. We have 3 Swords of Plowshares and Porphyry Nodes as our 1-drop removal. We have 4 Brainstorms naturally. I've foregone Ponder for the extra standstills, and then obviously I have like the enchantment package. A couple Spell Pierce and a Spell Snare to interact early on the stack if need be. We have 3 Snapcaster Mage in total. Obviously, Snapcaster Mage is great for rebuying cards, just getting that card advantage, plus a potential attacker without a moat in play. I've won a couple games with Snapcaster Mage, but that's not usually how I'm winning games. We have the Jace Fringe Prodigy, which has been great. Just the fact he can block, loot, and then flip is awesome. Then his other side, he gives -2, -0, which actually has been really good against burn. -3, being able to give something flashback in my graveyard has been awesome. And actually -9, his emblem has actually helped me win a lot of games, combined with like 2 or 3 standstills after Replenish. You cast a few spells, mill your opponent like 25 cards and make them draw like 12, and that's usually, late in the game. So it's usually enough to just make them draw too many cards and then they just die. Supreme Verdict, again, mainboard answer for a sweeper effect, like, can take care of blue decks creatures where, like, we might have to fight through their counter magic and don't have our own to protect any of our spells. Supreme Verdict's just a real good catch-all against the hordes and against opposing permission. And then we have, because we have standstills, and I always love standstill since I started playing it, we have Replenish, because what's better than 1 standstill in play than having 2 or 3 or even 4 in play? So Replenish, just 3 and a white, return all enchantment cards from graveyard to the battlefield. Standstills love going to the graveyard, draw me some cards. So Replenish helps to make sure standstills are just completely and utterly living their to full expectations. It's nothing like cracking 3 or 4 standstills to draw 9 to 12 cards, or making your opponent draw 9 to 12 cards when they have 7, let's say. And then we have a Starfield Nyx. Its first half returns the enchantment from your graveyard to the battlefield at the beginning of each upkeep, and then its second half is an Opalescence. If you're unfamiliar with that, it's each other non-aura enchantment you control as a creature in addition to its other types, and has base power and toughness equal to its mana cost. This does require you to have 5 or more other enchantments, which can't be auras. So it's not exactly Opalescence, but once you have 5 other enchantments, it becomes an Opalescence, where all your other enchantments have the are creatures with power and toughness equal to their base power and toughness, which is actually the very first time I won with this deck. That was the way I won. I had a Starfield Nyx out with multiple standstills, a Leyline of Sanctity, and all that, so it was pretty nice. So here's the sideboard. Let's get that sorted out. So we got 2 more Porphyry Nodes to go in with the first one. Again, Porphyry Nodes is really good against decks where, like, they have a lot of small creatures. We don't want to always waste our Swords of Plowshares on like something like a Deathrite Shaman or whatnot. So we just jam up Porphyry Nodes. If they want to keep it in, if they want to keep their creatures in play, they have to keep committing things to the board, and then eventually Porphyry Nodes will just grind out the value. Where is that slide at? So I tried to explain this earlier, but unfortunately, I don't know what happened with Twitch. I changed Legacy Astral Slide to Standard Replenish. So right now I'm on a brew called Standard Replenish. It's mostly just because it's a standstill deck that runs Replenish and Starfield and Nyx, with a few other enchantments for the synergies that you get out of it, and that's what I've been on currently. So unfortunately, there's no Astral Slide tonight. I will likely stream that again soon, but as of right now, I'll be streaming this deck. So again, with the sideboard, we have 2 Flusterstorms for combo. We have 3 Surgical Extraction for like graveyard-based decks. We got the Seal Cleansing, Aura Silence, and Council's Judgments for problem like enchantments, artifacts. Council's Judgment's also very good against opposing planeswalkers. Leyline Sanctity again for fast combo. It's also for burn, things of that nature. And Supreme Verdict again, like it is in the main board. When we need to load up on the sweeper effects and whatnot, we add a second Supreme Verdict, so we have that out of the sideboard to help us out. And obviously I skipped over Crucible Worlds. I don't think anyone needs to have that explained to them. I do run Wasteland. I run Creature Lands. I want to make sure my lands are safe and I can continue playing lands despite our opponent possibly having their own Wastelands and whatnot. And then we can also Wasteland lock an opponent with a really greedy mana base out of the game. Any thoughts on a main deck slot for something like Threads? Threads of Disloyalty is something I did consider. I actually skipped it because I'd much rather just answer my opponent's creatures and kill them rather than have like all the abrupt decays that are running around. Just be like, oh, you have a Threads on my creature, well I want my creature back, and they kill your Threads and you lose it. So Threads could be an option. I just don't think it's necessary. I also would much rather not steal a Tarmogoyf or something along those lines. Like, a Baleful Strix doesn't do me any good with a moat in play. It's not going to make me close out a game much faster than what I'm doing currently. And then it can't take something like a Gurmag Angler, which would be ideal. I don't particularly want to target I don't think it can target Leovold. I think it's 2 or less, right? So I can't target a Leovold with it. A Snapcaster Mage, I have those. I don't particularly need that. So, yeah. Alright. So we're trying to get a game going. Waiting on league matchmaking, which just failed. If anyone has any questions, I've been trying to keep an eye on chat, so just give me a heads up. Happily answer any questions you have. For Dragon, if you really want to watch Astral Side, then so I'm going to be streaming Sundays and Thursdays, so if you want, join me on Thursday for a stream at 8 p.m. and I will do Astral Side through a league instead of Standard Replenish again. I have been running this deck a lot, so I wouldn't mind a break, especially considering how this has started out. So we lost a die roll again. That's 3 times in a row because we're really awesome like that. Let's see. So we got a couple fetches, a Brainstorm, Swords, Porphyry Nodes, Force, Jace. So if our opponent's combo, I think we're good. If our opponent's another Soldier Stompy deck like that, we should be able to stop their first turn answer. And then we have a couple answers to creatures. I think we're going to try and keep this. Hoping to draw a couple more lands, but we'll see what happens here. Oh god, another... Is this what online's turned into? Is this Tezzerator? It's all Stompy decks and whatnot? Alright, so Demir's Signet leads me to believe this will be Tezzerator of some sort. Oh my god, my computer screen just shut off. I've got to get this to get off the silent mode. Luckily, I can see because of OBS on my second monitor, which never shuts off. Yeah, I'm definitely happy with the hand. I think it's perfectly fine. Johnny Curd to reply to your statement. So I don't... So we have a good idea that this is Tezzerator against. I don't think we brainstorm yet, but we're definitely going to want to brainstorm at least at the end of their turn. I would like to be able to put like... Now that we know this is Tezzerator, I'd like to be able to put like a Swords or a Porphyry Nodes back and not have to draw it. So I don't think those cards are going to be very relevant. So it's that Grixis Tezzerator deck I was hearing about, I wonder. Runs like Dak and Doretti or something like that. Let's see what happens here, I guess. Let's see if bad things are happening to me. So Dak Faden. We don't particularly care about that card, but we can't particularly answer at main board. We don't have enough creatures, really. I think we can afford to fetch out some basics here. I'm going to cast a Brainstorm, see if they react to that. And if they don't, probably just going to force that. Yeah, we're going to put back 2 Swords to Plowshares. We don't want either of those. So that's just going to resolve. We're going to have to flash in a Snapcaster. I'm just going to let that resolve. I'm going to flash in a Snapcaster Mage at some point and just try and eat that Dak Faden. All the salty people that bought into Pirates Stompy switch over to Mishless Stompy trash. Yeah, that's actually possibly true. This could be like that Grixis Thieves decks, like kind of on crack. They have like Ancient Tomb to power out early Dak Fadens and like early Notion Thieves and whatnot. Yeah, if this is that deck, that might be not great. Let's see what we got here. So they've already discarded Ancient Tomb and Dak Faden, which we already knew about, since they have those both in play. So we're going to draw one of those Source Plowshares. Again, I don't know if it's going to be completely irrelevant, but we do want to keep safe in case this is basically like that Grixis Thieves deck. We want to be able to answer a Notion Thief before it becomes a problem. And then end of their turn, I'll flash in one of these Snapcaster Mages just to get some pressure on that Dak Faden. Oh, I don't play very good. You should have should have watched me last game. Completely let a spell resolve that killed me basically. No, it wasn't last match. It was first match against Belcher. I had Spell Snare in hand and was like, oh, Pyrrhic Ritual, whatever, I'll let that resolve. Oh, no, I have Spell Snare in hand. Silly me. So, I don't think you particularly want to learn from me, but... Incredible Brainstorm, amazing. Yeah, finding the extra land, finding a second Snapcaster Mage off that Brainstorm was nice. Alright, so our opponent does Resin Wasteland, that's good to know. I think it was obvious, but still good to know regardless. What do we got here? What are they casting? Tezzerator, yeah, that's gonna get. I kind of want this Jace, so I think I'm just gonna get rid of one of these extra Snapcaster Mages. I don't think we'll need both. If they have the Force back, that's great for them. They already used deck, yeah, because they discarded Thopter Foundry and Dimir Signet, yeah. So we gotta watch out for Sword of the Meek. So that could become a problem. If they get that online. This is irrelevant since we obviously don't have mana. We're going to target Brainstorm just for kicks and giggles. Spell Snare will be great if they try to jam another Thopter Foundry or a Chalice or whatnot. We're definitely going to keep that Dak Faden in line. I do not want to just die to that. So yeah, this Spell Snare is going to be reserved for Dimir Signet. No, for Thopter Foundry or Chalice in general. Other than that, I don't think we particularly care. I'd love for them to target me with that ability. I'll have to cycle through my hand a bit. See what they discard to this. Force of Will. Alright, so they either drew 2 Force of Wills, or they're not worried about having the protection. Or they discarded Ancient Tombs, the other card, I'm assuming. Okay, so the hand's down to 2 cards. There's a Mox Diamond. Are they going to try and get a Snaring Bridge in play? Because I don't have interaction for that. Yeah, Snaring Bridge is really unfortunate. I can't do anything about that. That does that. What else do I got? Yeah, no, that's not happening. You can take that Thopter Foundry and cram it. Hey, what's going on, Lawrence? How you been? Yeah, so I'm starting to think forcing the Tezzerator was absolutely right. And Snaring Bridge is really unfortunate, though. I don't think Nodes and Source Plowshares are ever going to be relevant, so we're going to get rid of those. We got this fetch land in play. Let's see here. I don't think double white's ever going to be relevant in this match, so I'm just going to go ahead and get another island. Post-board, we're going to have a much better matchup. Post-board, once we get 2 Council's Judgments, the Order of Silence, Seal of Cleansing, all that, we're going to be in much better shape. Right now, we are in trouble. I don't think they're running Pyroblast to pair with the stupid emblem that he has, but I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. As long as this can't make an emblem, I'm not too worried about this match, because I can definitely Jace them out, and it's not even a big deal. But if they are running Pyroblast, that's not good. So we're going to build up a hand a bit. We need some more blue cards in here. Yeah, that's some more blue cards, I would say. And then just pass turn and start taking up Jace next turn. I didn't attack because the Ensnaring Bridge is in play, and they had 1 card in hand. Yeah, you caught it before I even had to say anything. Johnny Currid, you're such a smart guy. I like you. Make sure Kayla gives you a kiss for me. Watching on a phone? Oh boy. Can you even see everything? Academy ruins. That's obnoxious. I need my own wasteland now. I know there's not one directly on top. Ugh. I guess they still need the sword, though. Doesn't look like they have sword unique yet. Alright. Need to find wasteland. Let's do this. Oh, and snaring bridge is not relevant. Wish my opponent wouldn't play so slow. Actually, I had an opponent. I was testing this last night. I had an opponent time out in game 2 when I was about to win. I had almost 12 minutes left on my clock, and they had obviously -2 seconds when they timed out, and I ended up winning. Yeah, I definitely think I can't race the Thopter Foundry sword if they have both, and I can't stop that. I can't race that with Jace, but I can race Dak with Jace. Like, obviously, Dak doesn't really do anything to win the game. Really hope my opponent's not running something like Power Blast, though. That would be obnoxious. Luckily, it's mostly blue cards on our end, so... Okay, I'm gonna do that. Love to find a wasteland. Yeah, no, they keep that. I almost kind of want to jam the second Jace just so we can get a look. I should have probably just zeroed this and jammed the second Jace, honestly. I do want to be digging for a wasteland to shut this down, because that's going to be really obnoxious. And we only have so many abilities to cast Force of Will. Fate Seal myself. Yeah, that's a good point. I should probably be digging deeper. What's going on here? Did they just take way more damage for that than they should have? Like, I think Wasteland and Dimir Signet should have been enough for the Academy runes, right? Yeah, it's only 2 mana. Oh, this is their turn. Did I miss something? Cool. I missed something. What's going on here? Okay, so Thopter Foundry's on top and Dak made them draw it. Cool. I'm going to just force it. Make them keep doing that. And hopefully find a Wasteland. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking. Just keep the mana open to keep force up. I kind of want to dig with Jace, but at the same time, like, it's probably not even worth it. I am going to start Fate Sealing myself, though, Lawrence. Thank you for the reminder. I actually do that more often in paper than I do online currently, because... Yeah, no, that's going to go to the bottom of my library. I don't need that for that Swords Plowshares at all. That card, not necessary. Yeah. Academy and Dak definitely makes it so my Jace is just bad on them. If they keep if they keep using this Ancient Tomb for like their Academy runes and stuff though, and cards like that, like we're in pretty good shape. Pretty much the only card I think I have to care about at this point is the Thopter Foundry. Do they put Thopter Foundry on? No, not this turn. They're gonna transmute artifact. They don't have mana to activate that, so I'm gonna counter this. Unfortunately, I don't have something like a Spell Snare, but... I obviously can't let them have that card, because that makes that a thing. Oh, they had mana floating, huh? That's obnoxious. They had no more mana, though? Oh, they made an emblem. Okay. I'm not sure why I made an emblem, but sure. Ooh, Crocus. That means I can Crocus their deck, right? That's how that works? That's how that works now, right? I think I need to brainstorm here, because I cannot let them get that Thopter Foundry back. Thopter Foundry matter right now, so Jace goes to 9/11. Yeah, I gotta draw into something relevant here. I mean, this is just a losing fight. I don't know if I can actually get there. Standstill's real nice. Doesn't really matter what I put back here. So I can't cast it all anyway. So yeah, we're going to play Search for Azcanta. That's going to help us dig deep, keep things going. And then play Standstill. We're going to get down into our deck here. And pass turn. You may want to brainstorm or bounce a Snapcaster. Creature on top. I can crack standstill to attack. That's correct. If they get another couple of Ancient Tomb activations, I can start beating them down again. I would like to get a Bandland in play or another Snapcaster Mage at some point, but see if we can get there. Worst comes to worst, I have something. I have like a Supreme Verdict in here and stuff like that. So, all right. So they're at 6. That doesn't help me at all. Okay. So they have a Thopter Foundry. We cannot interact with this combo at all. Our Jace can still get there, but it's going to be really tough. I'm trying to think what we can do. God. I think we just lose to this, honestly. The flying attackers, moat, that's just awkward. Like, we can get a Porphyry Nodes in play and keep their Thopters a little under wraps. They're just milling themselves then? So weird. Yeah. Okay. See what we got on top. Search for Azcanta. Yeah, I'm going to put the Standstill in my graveyard because we don't need a Standstill right now. And I'm definitely going to transform this to help dig towards things that are relevant. So a cool thing about Porphyry Nodes is it actually will kill these Thopters that have this on them if they don't have additional 1/1s. They're going to make additional 1/1s, obviously. But you can also use Source Plowshares to kind of mess with this a little bit. That's going to go on bottom. Oh, Moat. How awkward you are. So activate all our abilities. We're going to go ahead and see what they do. Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards saving time and just getting this going, honestly. I can't beat that main board, so we're going to have to go to the sideboard. 1, 2, 3. Moat completely irrelevant, that comes out. I'm bringing in, not a fan of Source Plowshares or Porphyry Nodes here, but I'm going to keep in a couple swords just because, I don't know, maybe that's just scared thinking. I'm going to cut them. So I'm bringing in Seal Cleansing, Aura Silence, 2 Council's Judgment, 3 Surgical Extraction. It's really unfortunate we didn't find a Wasteland because that would have solved all our problems that last game. And then keep in the Crucible Worlds because they're very greedy mana base. Like Wastelock is a real thing here. I'm going to keep in the Replenish just because rebuying stuff like our, Aura Silence, our Seal Cleansing, our Standstills and whatnot really helps us get the value back. Keep up with all their Planeswalkers. Elixir of Mortality, I think, stays. I don't see any reason why I'd remove it. Supreme Verdict, I want to have at least 1 out to if they go deep on tokens and I'm getting close to milling them. Don't need the sheep. I know what that means. Jace Friend's Prodigy. They do a lot of looting, so again, I hate to always say this, but the mill plan is actually more relevant for us than any other plan. I'm actually tempted to trim a Crocus, but I'm going to trim an Elixir of Immortality because I don't think that card's ever going to be relevant. It's just one more 1-mana card that they could potentially counter or have a Chalice down for, so I'm going to leave that be. I don't think any of the cards on our sideboard are relevant here. Ugh. Yes, I would love to play first. That sounds great. Okay, so we got Force Blue card, which isn't as relevant. We have Crucible Wasteland, which is very tempting. I think this might be a little bit slow, but we're going to try it. It's we don't care about Chalice with this hand. We do care about whatever Planeswalker they try and jam first, so we're going to want to be on the lookout for that. But if we can get Crucible Wasteland on, we can really neuter them. That'd be nice. Okay. Basic Island's a good start for them. Tundra. We have Surgical in hand, so if they decide to discard something like anything that's Thopter combo, we just get rid of it right away. Yeah, it looks like play whatever prison deck is basically... Crucible's horrible versus deck. That's fair. I'm not going to let Dak resolve, hopefully, but yeah, Crucible might not be great. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Dak stealing lands. And they run Wastelands, so that could end up being a little bit of a problem for us. We're going to try it out. In all fairness, Elixir Mentality doesn't help either, so I don't know. We're going to try out Crucible Wastelock here, see if it's relevant. It's possible I should have waited at least one more turn, so I could have, like, if I drew another land, I could have, like, played Wasteland, wasted them. Tezzerator, we don't want them to have. I can't just cast that, though. I gotta cast it like this. We're going to pitch the Snapcaster Mage, because we want our Jace really badly. Okay. Yeah, you can put me one. You can take 1 damage to me. That's cool. Alright. So I'm very tempted here to just take out their colored source, and then replay the land, and then take out their Ancient Tomb. Alright. I think we gotta keep up blue, so we're just gonna tap the Wasteland for now, play the Search for Azcanta, and then just pass. See what happens here. Yeah, so like I definitely get Lawrence, like Dak's stealing Crucible and they have Wasteland too. That's real sketch. I'm glad it worked out this game, but I do think overall you're probably correct. Like if they just jammed a Dak there instead of a Tezzerator and they had like some type of backup of Force, I might have been in real big trouble. I'm gonna Brainstorm on the end of their turn. That's not terrible, but not great. I would love a fetch land here. Oh, I do have a fetch land in my graveyard, silly me. Yeah, I don't particularly care about surgicals, but that's fine. Okay. Probably just gonna dump a surgical. No, we don't want to dump surgical, do we? What do I put back? Yeah, maybe I should have put back the other card and dumped that. So we're gonna play fetch land. I want to get a Jace down here. Start grinding them out. Card advantage. I'm gonna get another island. I'm not particularly worried about their wasteland, but I would like to keep my mana up. So I'm gonna try and fetch out a few basics before we do anything else really. So we're gonna start with this Brainstorm. Okay, we're looking at some pretty good cards on the top of our deck. So I think we're okay. I'm gonna keep this Brainstorm. No, I'm gonna keep this Search for Azcanta to pitch to Force. I don't think we're gonna need a Search for Azcanta in play when we have one, even once we flip one, so that'd be fine. Surgical on Tez is probably not a bad idea. We do have the opportunity to like do it when they fetch, especially if they play another land. So we're going to do that here. Tez does keep them off making this a 5/5, which is relevant. It digs them deep, so that's actually not a terrible plan. See if they respond to it or not. Be actually kind of fun. Oh, hey, look at that. They must have had multiple Tezzerats in hand. Or they wanted to hide some sort of tech, because can't picture many other reasons you would scoop to that. They're on the play. Crucible is definitely too slow to try and get cute with on the play. Yeah, the 2 surgical is true. I don't think they knew we had 2 surgical, but yeah, seems fine. So I'm gonna bring in the Elixir Mentality. If this does get into a long, grindy game, I'm gonna want to be able to shuffle cards back into my deck and gain some life back. So we're gonna do that. Yeah, I mean, if we like surgical them, saw like Tezzerator and a couple other things, and had additional copies in the graveyard, we could have just like taken like basically 8 cards out of their deck and 3 of them out of the hand. This hand looks pretty good. I mean, I'm definitely gonna keep it. likely start off with turn 1 island, turn 2 wasteland, standstill if they haven't done anything. We have force for whatever relevant thing they try and do early. And then we have colonnade if we need to, you know, jam a standstill and have something up. So I'm definitely very happy with this hand. Alrighty. Come on, deck. Alright, they have the Ancient Tomb, so they have the mana they need. Mox Diamond, pitching a land, so I have 4 cards in hand. So even if they jam a Tezzerator or something here, we're doing okay. Nope, they didn't. Okay, cool. So yeah, just Wasteland, Standstill. We have Force up. We'll be drawing 3 cards if they cast anything. Be real awkward if they put like a Notion Thief in play right now. Black. Okay, this feels like a Notion Thief. Yeah, look at that. No. Not letting that happen, hopefully. Oh, that would have been bad. That would have been real bad. They got that Notion Thief into play. Things would have gotten real awkward real quick at the standstill. I was playing the Bug Standstill deck I was playing before this. Actually, like I had a Notion Thief in play and started just cracking standstills whenever I had them. Like casting Brainstorm, cracking standstill, just to get like the, just to be able to draw like, you know, 6 cards, put 2 back. It's like just sweet. I'm going to jam the Colonnade here, so we can not have to worry about tapped lands late, like in the next couple turns. We don't particularly know if we'll draw like a counterspell or something, but we're going to want to keep at least blue up for Brainstorm, Spell Pierce, Spell Snare, depending on what they do, especially if they like, you know, crack the standstill for us. And it's a card we don't really want to counter. Doesn't look like it though, so. Alright. It's going to be jamming some lands. And eventually this colony is going to turn online. They're going to have to make the first move, so. Them having Ancient Tomb makes it more likely they have to make the first move. Hopefully they don't draw Wasteland, obviously. That would shut that down. Alright, what are they casting? Trinisphere. I definitely want to brainstorm a response to that, but I don't know if I actually care about Trinisphere. So that's probably going to end up resolving for them. I'm definitely not going to need a second chase, so we're going to get rid of that. I'm going to fetch here. We're going to get kind of like a Seal Cleansing in play, but let's see, can we, so I can Council Judgment, get rid of this, Seal Cleansing, or I can just Seal Cleansing, hold that up. Might do that. I think Council's Judgment's going to be more relevant for their Planeswalkers, so I'll probably just do that. Okay. Draw out the land. That's sweet. Yeah, I think we're just going to... Is there a card they could cast that punishes us if we just jam a Jace here? I think we can just jam a Jace here. I don't think it's particularly a problem. I'm going to Fate Seal them, though, because they have like a click. I want Jace out of click range. Do we care about that? They can make 1, 2, 3, 4 colors in total, so yeah, we care about that. We don't want them to get the Jace with it. So we're just going to end the turn on that. Yeah, 3-ball seems a little weak. It's fine if your opponent has to tap out. Like, I just tapped out for a Jace, so like whatever they cast right now resolves, so it's fine for that. But otherwise, yeah, 3-ball isn't great, and they're going to get 1 activation out of this Tezzerator. They tap this 3-ball, it's going to be hilarious. Because then I'll be able to cast all my spells. If they make that an artifact creature, they might do that. Just to answer my Jace. Yeah, they're doing it. They're doing it with Mox Diamond, though. That's cute. Damn. Jace is going down. Is that just till end of turn, or is that in general? No, that's just in general. Okay. So next turn we're going to Council's Judgment and Seal Cleansing. Seal Cleansing is going to kill this. Council's Judgment's going to take care of Tezzerator. Because I'm pretty pissed that they just took out my Jace. Bastards. Yep. You killed my Jace. Hey, look, another Jace. So let's see. Yeah, I think that's what we do. Alright, so we need 2 white for this and that. Council's Judgment, they cannot respond, so we're definitely taking out the Tezzerator. I'm going to vote for this. You can vote for your transfer if you want, opponent. That'd be great. Or if you want to vote for your Mox Diamond, that's fine too. When they have a fetch, it's better for me to scry. Yeah, that's good. Still very new to these blue decks, so I appreciate the feedback. I'm trying to get better about stuff like that. Seal cleansing. Yeah. I don't personally see any reason to wait and kill the Mox Diamond. If we let them have access to their turn, they know we're gonna kill it. They're gonna tap it for mana. So at least if we restrict them from that, like they have to keep tapping the Ancient Tomb to get spells through Trinisphere, especially like 4-drop spells and whatnot. So by killing their Mox Diamond, I feel like they're gonna take more damage off from Ancient Tomb and fetch lands, and our Celestial Colonnade can close out a game much faster than they can probably do much of anything. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. It's like if this is a Tezzerator here, like Colonnade just kills it. Lodestone Golem? That's okay. That's fine. I think we can erase that. I feel like we can. Horror of Silence. So, you know, that's way more tempting. What the hell was that? Horror of Silence. Oh, because Lodestone Golem. Oh yeah, that's a card. Okay. I guess we're just done after that then. It's so much different when you're not the one taxing your opponent. When you're the opponent being taxed. Life is so much different then. Just incredible. Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely afford to take it. I mean, worst comes to worst, Colonnade becomes a creature and eats this. It's not really a big deal. Crucible Worlds. Yeah. About that. They have not played a land this turn, so they're going to play a Wasteland. Oh, I don't want to crack this now, but I think I have to just crack this now. Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, that's very uncomfortable. Replenish is good to return some stuff. I don't have... So let's see. So, I still have a land to play this turn, I believe, right? Yeah. So if I crack this to kill Lodestone Golem, I can Replenish, get back Sealed Cleansing and Aura Silence, and crack Sealed Cleansing to get rid of the Crucible. So I'm actually very excited with this hand. Let's see, the Lodestone Golem, so Aura of Silence can take care of that, right? So I can kill 3 things, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do here. We're going to kill that Crucible. We're going to play this land. Oh, no! No! Oh, no! I punted. I can't cast Replenish now because I didn't kill this first. That's what I meant to do. Alright. Let's get Jace down here. Let's Wasteland them to keep them down on mana. They Wasteland us. They're still down on mana, so that's cool. Oh, that was so bad. Oh, jeez. Am I streaming for Pat Uglow or something? Okay, yeah. You got a Wasteland on my Celestial Colony. Good for you. I still have 5 mana. You have 3. I'm fine with that. Yeah, that was painful. That was real bad. I knew I wanted to kill the Crucible, but I did that in the very wrong order. I'm the best. That's what's going on here. I'm just the best. Yeah, I don't care. I'm not going to block that. I just want this Jace to flip. So if they draw a Wasteland here again, or if they have another Wasteland or a Crucible here, no, they can't cast Crucible. So if they have a Wasteland here, they can hit like a Tundra and keep me off that Replenish plan. That's not really relevant, I don't think. Yeah, so we're just going to jam this Replenish, or jam this Fairy Conclave. I am going to use this Jace to block a turn, I think. Right? Is there any reason to block a turn here? I guess not really. I can nerf this and just blow it up or whatever. I'll probably just blow that up. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to start taking this Jace up. Like, block and flip does save a turn, but I don't know. Yeah, that's not relevant. So Wilson is just going to go away. Do I even want to get... Block and flip might have been correct, I wonder. If I get rid of the Dimir Signet, this is still locking them out of 4+ cards. Yeah, I'm just going to kill it. Just gonna kill it. We have a standstill in play. I don't think they play creature lands. They are at 9. We have a Fairy Conclave. I think we just got it here. If they do jam a card that we have to answer and we draw a force from off our standstill, we just Aura of Silence our Transfer, then respond to it. So I think we're gonna be okay. Kill the Signet. Yeah. Not a great hand, but that's fine. These cards will all be relevant next turn. Okay, so now we have the Force of Will. Tick this up. Yeah, okay. Activate that. We're going to attack them with Fairy Conclave and get the beats in. This could have been faster if they let us have our Colonnade, but they decided to have it with Fairy Conclave, so this will take a few turns, but we're going to get there. Yeah, I don't know if Killing Signet at this point was even relevant. They have all the mana they need at this point, so I think at this point just killing something more like another Lodestone Golem, EE if they can't flip it or whatever. I mean, we're going to counter pretty much anything they play until they're dead. Brea, that's what this deck is. Sweet. I haven't seen this deck before, so I'm kind of excited right now. And it cost them 6 mana to do that, huh? I'm going to pitch 8 Snapcaster Mage and pay 3. I do have Crocus, but I don't want them having all the tokens or anything. Although I suppose that would have been a funny way just to like mess with them. Oh yeah, we Crystal Locked them game 2. Alright, we have a win on our record. Here we go. This league's starting to shape up very nicely. So we're going to play this league match. We're going to try and get back into it. Hopefully we can get hopefully we can win out from here, because that would make me real happy. I played some practice games last night on this. I crushed check pile. Almost pulling out against Burn, but they pulled ahead like last couple spells in their hand were just too good, like Exquisite Firecraft and stuff. And I drew a Leyline of Sanctity as like one of my second card drawn. Yes, I'll play first. So that was unfortunate. And then they had like Exquisite Firecraft before that, so I was just like, I'm dead. We have removal. We have Spell Pierce for like a turn 1 answer. So for like a turn 1 spell, so we're gonna lead on Tundra. They play a creature. We're gonna just try and Swords it, and then just tap down for a standstill. I signed up for the auto mod or whatever it is for the cards. I don't know if it actually got tied to the MTG bot for cards. I don't know if it actually got tied to my account though. So you might not be able to you might not be able to card Brea like that. Hope they just don't have days here. Yeah, they have Force. That's okay. Whatever. On their turn, we're just going to Wasteland and Swords again. Yeah, it really sucks. I would love to be making an EU. I'd play this deck much better in paper too, so it'd be like a really good chance for people to actually realize that like this deck isn't horrible. Because right now, this deck's not really showing that. Alright. So we use 2 Swords of Plowshare. That's Blue-Red Delver. Okay. That's unfortunate. So we used 2 spells to get rid of Force, a blue card. We used the land to get rid of Volcanic Island, and we got rid of a Delver. So right now we're definitely ahead, and our deck inherently has a lot much more card advantage. So we should be okay here. I kind of want to jam the Jace Vryn's Prodigy. If they have burn, they have burn. I don't know if I want to wait. I think we'll just wait a turn so we hope Spell Pierce. Yeah, streaming's not easy. I want to jam Standstill, but I can't jam Standstill with the Swiss Spear in play, unfortunately. I am going to Spell Pierce this Brainstorm, though. I really don't want them chaining spells into the Swiss Spear right now. Yeah, you get Prowess. So you have 2 cards in hand, you play to fetch. What else you got? Fetching, cool. Next turn I'm probably just jamming this Jace, and then hoping it's relevant for a couple turns. Hoping that they don't just kill it, because Jace on the Monastery Swiss Spear will make it much harder for them to get their Prowess triggers and whatnot to up high enough to actually deal damage. And if we can flip Jace, we just flashback Swords of Plowshares and answer it flat out. Like they're already down to, they'll have 2 cards in hand once it's resolved. So if even one of those is a land, we're doing pretty good. Okay, you get to see my hand, cool. Are you done yet? Had I known my opponent was going to get this greedy, jamming Standstill actually feels much more tempting. It's like, sure, I can beat this 18 turn clock. I'll draw a man land eventually. Yep. I'm actually running 0 Mistress Factories currently. I'm running 0 because it makes the mana a little more stable as far as color, and Celestial Colonnade and Fairy Conclave having flying. So like usually a lot of lists you'll see like 2 factories or whatnot. Is this targeting Jace? Yeah, of course it is. You'll see 2 factories or whatnot, and so basically I replace those with the 2 colored man lands that fly to get over moat and fix colors and whatnot. This is actually turning out to be pretty brutal. This person just does everything. They had a bunch of cantrips to punch me for a lot of damage. They had the burn spells from Jace and whatnot. It's turning pretty rough. New. We need a Snapcaster Mage real bad. Snapcaster Mage is the ideal top deck, I think. Get the Swords of Plowshares back, answer this, and then we can go back on the. We can turn the, and we can turn the tides and kind of jam some spells into them. Yeah. So that's a Replenish. Not great. I think we're just gonna cast Standstill. Hope to find a man land and hope that we eventually can just shut down their Swiss Spear, because letting them cast other spells have been really, really, really tough. Turn 4 with Jace and Standstill. That's possible. If that was the case and we waited, we'd actually be at like 5 right now, though. That makes it a little... I guess if they can answer the Jace, though. Yeah, that's probably fine. Probably thinking way too much about this. Yeah, okay. Attack for 1. Yep. I also think the double swords in their first Delver was probably incorrect. I probably should have just waited till my turn, swords, holding up Spell Pierce for their Force of Will that they inevitably had. And then we'd have the second swords for the Swiss Spear. That was probably also correct, but we didn't do that, unfortunately. There is no slide in here if you're referring to that when you said side. Oh boy. Yeah, I went swords and away swords, which I did feel was right. They found more land than I was hoping they would find. That's unfortunate. Um, I felt like we were ahead though, because they had like they used force blue card. They did all that. Yeah, I updated that on Twitch. I thought I'm gonna have to check it out because being titled Astral Slide has gotten me a lot of questions that were supposed to be avoided by changing the title of my stream. So I'll have to look at Twitch real quick after this game. Ugh. It's gonna be one of those awkward moments we have to crack our own standstill. I think that's what's gonna happen here. I don't have MTG bots set up. I'm not really familiar with all that, so I'm gonna have to figure out some stuff. But I can get a link for you in just one moment. I think I have to just try and jam this Jace. So I have to get that thing off the board. I don't like it though. Yeah, we're really dead. I was hoping to find a Snapcaster Mage or another Swords of Plowshares early. Unfortunately, we didn't. So we're going to put them up to 8 cards. We'll have Spell Pierce, which isn't relevant because that has haste. But I think we just concede here. I can't do this game anymore. This is just bad. Really bad. Right, let me get the deck list for you. Here's a link to the deck list. I've been keeping it in tapped out and just kind of keeping track of it as the time goes. Oh boy. I don't particularly like Porphyry nodes here. Maybe I do. I'm fairly certain they're going to bring in some number of Sulfuric Vortex against me, so I want at least one Council Judgment, if not 2. Moats are really good here, because all I have to answer is Delver and Stormteacher Mage. I guess only answering Swiss Spear probably isn't great for Moat. Trim a Moat. I'm going to bring in a Supreme Verdict, though, because I want to just be able to jam and just kill creatures. Counter spells feel a little slow, but I think on the play I want to keep them, and on the draw I'd probably bring in Flusterstorms. I'm not 100% on that, though. I'm going to try it like this. Maybe I just want to cut Moat completely, though. I think I convinced myself to cut Moat completely, but I'm going to keep one. Yeah, Moat's not great. Oh, Crucible is real bad. Yeah, that's right. I'm also still at 61 cards, so we're going to do that. Yeah, I'll bring in a Flusterstorm before Moat. We'll do that. There we go. Starfield. Starfield is super slow. Thanks, Lords. Can always count on you. How'd you end up doing? Did you play Landstill recently? In a Vintage Challenge or whatever, last week or whatnot? I feel like I saw you on Landstill. Let's see here. Oh no, did my other cuts not go through after I submitted? That's not good. So I still have the Crucible. I don't like this hand, really. Brainstorm could fix it, but I hate doing that. It's only 2 lands, which is awkward. I'm gonna try it, but I'm not particularly happy about it. You top 8 of the challenge, and your testing partner in the challenge this week. Looks like your boarding didn't go through. No, the boarding definitely didn't go through. Yeah, I think it's close enough. Like, Brainstorm, I don't like the whole, like, ooh, Brainstorm's going to fix this hand thought process. But Brainstorm could fix this hand. It's got double force, so we can stop at the first couple threats. Yeah, I mean, I think I force any threat. I think any early threat I force. Any spell like even a Ponder or Brainstorm, I think I just let those go through. But yeah, Delver or Swiss Spear 100% just get forced on the draw or on the play. It'll be unfortunate if they have days, but we don't really have removal, so that's irrelevant. And they mulled to like 4 or whatever, right? Yeah, they mulled to 4, so if they force back, like that's awesome. Basically, I mulled to like 2 on the draw. I'm perfectly fine with that. And I pitched Brainstorm like an idiot, so that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Lawrence, it's just like, well, they were on 5 because they drew a card, so they, oh, I guess they were mull to 4 and then draw 5th. Yeah, I'm going to force that. I'm going to counterspell that and not force that. Yeah, Lawrence, I'm sure this is reminding you of Pat's streams already. It's like, what on earth are you thinking? Why did you do that? Flusterstorm. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I'm doing real bad tonight on this. I'm playing like all these matchups that I'm not too familiar with. That's not helping. MTGO's weird, and I'm just bad. So it's like a mix. It's like I'm bad, MTGO's weird. I keep drawing land when I don't want to draw land. It's terrible. Oh, I might as well just play the Crucible here, I guess. Probably should just be fetching basics in case they still have Price of Progress. Oh, this is terrible. Next time I fetch, I should probably check. Moto is jarring to get used to. Yeah. Yeah, I don't play Moto enough, so I'm not particularly used to it, but I also am not particularly as bad at it. I generally can like hit the buttons pretty quick and do it right. I do still skip the occasional land drop though, because who wants land drops anyway? Declare blockers. Yeah, I'll block my Crucible Worlds. That's a thing, right? Oh, my land. Ugh. What is this, a click? We getting clicked here? Yeah, there it is. That's click. Sure, bottom of my Force Will. Draw me into something relevant, please. For the love of God. Draw me into something relevant. I can't picture Force Wills getting bottomed here. It'd be nice, but I can't picture that's happening. Yeah. It's like, oh, you can't do anything with Force Will. You can keep that. Just gonna try and thin out the deck a little bit. Okay. Let's hope I'm not just gonna die. This is a horribly feel bad moment. Especially against this garbage deck. Like, Pat plays this deck. Terrible. The deck's fine. I'm not used to losing to Blue-Red Delver, though. So on Death and Taxes, it's a pretty good matchup. When I was on Bugstill, I did okay against it. So far, this deck goes pretty close with Burn, and then Blue-Red Delver just throws less fire at you, so it's a lot easier. So my removal's a lot more relevant. Another Force of Will. Awesome. Perfect. That's the exact card I was looking for. Yeah, pitching Brainstorm definitely tried to just kill me. I made a silly mistake of pitching Aaron from Turn 1 Thoughtseize. I made a silly mistake pitching a Brainstorm to a Force instead of... I was actually going to pitch Counterspell, not Force, but... yeah, I pitched Brainstorm, so I didn't have that. I don't have access to that. Jeez, I think I... It's awkward, but I think I just have to counter that. Like, if they have Price, that's only 2 damage compared to the 3. Just have to counter that, because that puts me to 7. That would put me to 4. That would put me to 2, and then Price would kill me anyway, so... If they have another Bolt, I'm just dead. Yeah, I was definitely supposed to pitch Force to Force, but... Yeah. But I was going to pitch Counterspell like an idiot. Because I forgot about the fact the second Force would need a blue card as well, and Counterspell would have mana for it. Storm Chaser Mage. Lovely. Yeah. 4, 5. I'm going to 5 here. Alright, so I need Supreme Verdict off the top. Not another land, please, deck. Not another land. That's another goddamn land. Are you kidding me right now? Jesus. Ugh, could this league go any worse for me? Ugh. So I lost against Belcher. Forgot to cast a Spell Snare, which was bad. Lost against Soldier Stompy. I think that deck's just really tough in general. their version had like Stoneforge, so I'm not sure if it was more like a mono white hate bears type of deal, but I don't know what this was. I beat a deck. I don't remember what deck this was already. And then this last match was Blue-Red Delver. Some very bad play there, and some pretty bad beats on the draws as well. Yeah, this league has been a meme so far. This is just really weird. What was my last... What was the opponent? Oh, Tezzerator. That's what I beat. And you got it too right when I said it. You already sent it, so... That was obnoxious, the Tezzerator deck. Couldn't find a single wasteland against them that first game when they had Academy runes going. And then, of course, you know, game 2, I get Crucible online and wastelock them or whatever. I don't remember what happened game 3. Game 3, I had, like, Replenish with Aura of Silence and Seal Cleansing and stuff like that I was chaining against them. And them being a big artifact deck, they couldn't do much about it. So it's been an interesting run so far. This is great. It's these moments where I'm just like, oh, I could really use a drink. It's not going very well. Let's see who's in here. I don't recognize a lot of names in here. So everyone that's in here, thank you very much for stopping by. Hope you enjoy what you're seeing. Looking for my last round match. Hopefully comes up soon. You can see at the top of the screen, record is 1-3. Tonight's not gone great, but we're gonna try and get one more win at least. I gotta get used to this deck online a little bit. This deck is so much easier to pilot in paper. So much easier. Yeah. So how's everyone in chat doing? Not too much talking. Getting a lot of stuff from Lawrence. Getting a lot of stuff from Johnny Cured. Not a whole lot from anyone else. Does anyone have any questions about the deck? Make sure to talk about the deck at the end of this league as well. So that way anyone who missed it at the very beginning can still hear a little bit more about the deck. I've been writing about it. I've been updating it on Tapped Out. And I'll include a link in the chat at the end as well. And then if you find my Twitter, I actually have it pinned. I'm not saying my deck isn't hard in paper, Zach. I'm just saying, like, for some reason when I have the paper cards in hand, I'm much better. Like, I still forget, like, I run Force, because, like, I'm still getting used to having blue cards, which is really sad to admit to. Alright, focus on the game for a second. So, we are on the draw. We have Wasteland, Jace, Force, Spell Pierce, Plains, and 2 fetches. I think this hand's pretty bad. We can, like, Force, like, turn 1 or turn 2. Maybe Spell Pierce, and then we just do nothing. We have a lot of live top decks, but with the way we've been drawing land, I'm kind of tempted to not keep this. And I'm going to mulligan. Already clicked it. 1 land, Brainstorm, Spell Snare, Elixir, Standstill. We need a good scry here, but I'm going to try this. This has a lot of action. Wasteland on top is okay. We'll do that. Let's see how this goes. This starting hand is a little bit more in my comfort zone, so hopefully it goes well. Fledge Strand to Ponder. A couple options this could be. Could be Sneak and Show of some sort. Could be Miracles. I don't even know if people play Miracles anymore. At least they shouldn't, in my opinion. We'll see what we got here. It also could just be like Storm. Yeah, Ball in the 7 I think was definitely correct. Hey, maybe it's the mirror. Island Plains? Maybe they're going to cast a Standstill here. I can Spell Snare it. I'm going to Brainstorm end of turn because I want some more information on what we're going into next turn. I mean, we're pretty well set up for whatever our opponent's doing, so yeah, we're looking okay. So, so I'm probably just going to want to play this fetch land. Oh, this wasteland. We're going to go with wasteland. We're just going to jam this standstill here. Hope they can't just sneak in a creature, because that would be wicked awkward. Spell Pierce. Do I want to pay 2 for Spell Pierce? Well, since I can't. Until you can cast Power Snare. Yeah. Yeah. In hindsight, that's looking real good, but... Back to basics. What the flying fudge? Is this like... This is a new Miracles tech, right? Like, they've been running back to basics? Or is this actually that stupid Pirate Stompy deck? No, it can't be Pirate Stompy. Blue-white. That's not a thing. That's obnoxious, though. I think we just have to get planes here, because we need to be able to cast Swords Plowshares if anything goes wrong. Ugh. Nope. Don't do that. Blue-white Prison? Is that like a thing right now? I didn't realize it was a thing. Back to Basic Stoneblade. Excrempus 1. I didn't realize Back to Basic Stoneblade was a thing. Yeah, I'm going to snare that, because if I can't have my standstill, you don't get your Snapcaster Mage and your Ponder. So you can go to hell. You can go straight to hell, as a matter of fact. This Fairy Conclave is real awkward now. I mean, we can't answer the Back to Basics with anything main board, so this Fairy Conclave is basically just an irrelevant card. I don't even know if we bother playing it. I think we just hold it for if we get a chance to like brainstorm at some point. And just put it back and get better cards in hand. Well, I had brainstormed, put Conclave back, and then fetched. Did I? I drew Wasteland that turn. I fetched, didn't I? No, I did draw Conclave shortly after. Okay, yeah. I was trying to think if, like, I put Conclave back, and I knew I did, but... Oh, well. Yeah, we're going to do that, then. Yeah, don't want Conclave. Don't... Crucible's tempting, because... it would let me dig a lot of basics out of my deck. Conclave's the bottom card. I don't think I just want to jam Crucible here, though. I think here's where I probably just want to jam a Standstill, because I do have Swords Plowshares up. So I think that's what we do here. So I try and sneak something in. We can get the Swords Plowshares on it underneath. Well, I can't force that back, so that's unfortunate. You're going to draw one of these. Let's draw one of these. Okay, you have a Stoneforge. Let's hope you get... yeah, Bagger Skull would be annoying, actually. Do I actually get rid of this? Yeah, I have to get rid of Stoneforge, because if I answer the Germ token, they just end up using Stoneforge to keep cheating back in play. Okay. Alright, so Conclave's on top, so I'm going to put a stop on my upkeep, so I can use this Elixir of Mortality to clear that away. Porphyry nodes, not amazing. Yeah, I fetched at one point. Another Stoneforge Mystic. Alright. So we're gonna have to get this Porphyry Nose in play. I also want to get this Crucible in play, so we're gonna gem Porphyry Nodes first. I know they have 2 equipment in hand, so they're not just gonna like counter it. They can't cheat in Bagger Skull yet, so and this could start digging out our basics with the Crucible Worlds, which will help us get our mana up, which is nice. Porphyry Nose is a little slow at clearing up their board, but they're going to have to use their Stoneforge on my upkeep rather than my end step, so we'll have like the whole turn to like use the Jace or something to bounce the Germ token. I would love to see a moat, because I highly doubt they run that many flyers. They might run like some number of Vendilion Click, but otherwise they probably don't run flyers, really. I would love a Ghost Quarter, but I don't run any. I have 2 more fetchable lands with the Floodstrand for our basics. I obviously have the 4. I obviously have 4 Tundras, but those would be the last thing. Have I tried Field of Ruins yet? No, I haven't tried that yet. I'm kind of thinking about it, but I'm not sure I particularly want to. Okay, Forfeit Notes goes away. That's fine. Main phase, Snapcaster Mage. Sweet. The cards are really bad right now. Yeah. So I don't have Stoneforge Cheat and Barraskull anymore, which means we can just use our Force of Will to counter that if that comes down. What are they doing here? Snapcaster Mage. I don't know what they're targeting. It's probably just like a Ponder or something. I'm not worried about that. They can have that. Did they even flash anything back? No, they didn't. True Name Nemesis. So I need this Porphyry Nodes back. I'm not going to let that resolve, though, if I can help it. Gonna get the second planes just so I have 2 white ready to go. Again, not particularly relevant, but I can force this. They can have a Jet, I don't care. I mean, I do care, but I don't. Let's see here, Spell Pierce. Alright, this is getting pretty obnoxious. You need to start drawing more relevant cards. So I'll be able to flash in my Snapcaster Mage to like block theirs. They cast a Barraskull before they play another land. I'm just going to counter it. You thought we had Brainstorm? We used it earlier. And I think that's where... So I ended up putting Wasteland Conclave back, and then played Wasteland instead of Fetchland. Yeah, sure, we'll target that. I don't think that's relevant. So stop making me do that. Okay. So I know that our Snapcaster Mage is just going to trade, and their Umezawa's Jit is going to have 2 counters on it, but I don't really care as long as they don't have creatures on the board. I'm okay. Yeah, I know. You don't get to cancel Judgment on Crucible Worlds. Thank you for asking, though. Yeah, if we top deck like a Jace or a Brainstorm here, we're probably in really good shape, but of course it was a goddamn Tundra. Because that's just my luck. What do we have left for land? We have Crocus, Celestial Colonnade, Fair Conclave, 2 more Tundras, 3 more Floodstrands, 3 more Pluto Deltas. We're in good shape. Everything's going to be fine. There's their Jace. That's not good. I'm going to start holding up fetch lands in case they just keep cards on the top of our library. How do I get chat back? I don't know. Does anyone know how to get chat back out here? I kind of want to see what their Jace does. I don't see any way to do that. Fairy Conclave. Land that comes on tap. Perfect. Huh. I think there'd just be like a little tab over here. Really want to know what my opponent's Jace is doing. It's really frustrating. Yeah, you got a Barraskull. I can't do anything about that. I have all my lands in hand and everything. It's great. The text box logo thing down here just shows this stuff. Does it show... Doesn't show anything about chat. Oh, there's Spell Pierce. Perfect timing. This is just getting embarrassing. Maybe I shouldn't have used that elixir of mortality. There's a gear and chat bubble. Definitely missing something here. Cryptic Serpent's not happening. I'll not run that card in Legacy. Left side. Oh, hey, look at that. Huh. Thanks. Look at the top card. Put the card on the bottom. What happened previously? Put the card on top. So yeah, let me draw one card so far. Well, this Barraskull's getting big, so gotta do something shortly. They put the card on bottom, so I don't know what the top card is, so I'm just gonna draw it. Search Fast Canta is not gonna do it, so we're just gonna scoop this game. I don't like playing Magic Online. So far, it's just really bad for me. Porphyro's is terrible. I'm not bringing that in. Supreme Verdict, like, oh, Porphyro's is probably fine for the true names. They are kind of light on creatures in general. I don't like it. Kind of like Moats and Supreme Verdict should be enough for true names. I don't think I need those. What do I hate here? Crucible Worlds doesn't seem relevant at all. The whole point of that is Wastelands and rebuying my Manlands and stuff. They don't seem to run Wasteland, and they don't seem to run that many non-basics, so that's irrelevant. Spell Pierce is probably great for fighting early counter wars and stuff. Spell Snare counters a Stoneforge and a Jit, and Snap, but other than that, like, I don't know how much I care about all that, so I think that gets the shaft. They do have Caracas, so Jace Fringe Prodigy I'm tempted to trim. Starfield, I think, is just going to be way too slow. Replenish is going to do more than enough work for us on that front, along with our Planeswalkers. So I'm going to try that. Yes, I'd love to play first. Alright, let's have a good finish. Let's get this game done. Double Wasteland, Fairy Conclave. Hand does like nothing. If I draw like another White Source or whatever, I could jam a Moat, which keeps most of their creatures off me. I could jam a Jace, which, you know, can slowly build up card advantage. But they have a bunch of counter magic as well as their true names and stuff, so I don't think I can keep this. I'm going to mulligan. Hands Closer, again, not great, but Brainstorm, Blue Source, Spell Pierce, Crocus. Like, I'm going to try it. Hopefully this cry's not bad. Our opponent mulled to 6 as well. Looks like they kept their hand. Island stays on top because we want the additional blue to eventually cast our Jace. Keep all our mana in order. No. Don't do this to me. Did I? Okay, good. I did not pass till the end of the turn. That was close. Oh, man. Just play Island here and pass. Definitely don't want to Spell Pierce back to basics if they try to jam one at some point. My opponent barely fetched all, and they found like all their basics. Is that like are they really running that many basics? Is that like a thing that's going on? I don't care if they have that Brainstorm. Like, sure, they can have the Brainstorm. That's fine. Okay, I have the Scalding Tarn for the fetch. Just gonna try and Brainstorm into their turn. I have an idea of what I'm looking for in this match, so I feel confident that with the right cards I can avoid any bad mistakes. I don't think Wasteland's that relevant here. Caracas is also non-basic though, so I don't know. So I'm gonna fetch here. Give myself a fresh look at the top cards. Yeah, I need to fetch a Plains now. That wasn't a Flood Strand though. So I need to be able to try and jam Moat where possible. But okay, I mean, we can jam Jace here. Hopefully it resolves. If not, we're going to have a real awkward time with their back to basics. Yep, they have an answer. If they jam back to basics, then that was a very clear punt. Yeah, there's back to basics. How do they run so many basics? Like, I've seen like 3 fetch lands out of them in total, if that. Like, maybe 1 even. I don't understand how this deck affords so many basics. It has like almost perfect mana every time. It's insane. Being in 2 colors, that's not bad. That's definitely not happening. Well, see if they have Force or Spell Pierce or whatever to back it up. No, they don't. Good. I'll say if they have Spell Pierce or Force there, it's like, yeah. I mean, what do you give the man that has everything, right? Yep. That's Council's judgment. Oh. That's a Jace. That sucks. Oh my god. I don't know how much worse this can get for us. Need to draw me some basic planes is what I need though. Stand still, not gonna do it. Jesus. Yeah, that's fair. No creature lands, no utility lands. That does help a lot. But you can afford to run like a lot of land. I really want to gem the Stabcaster Mage to put pressure on that Jace, but I just don't think... I can't picture they don't have something in their hand to answer it. And like, I would not be surprised if they just, yeah, Stoneforge here. Like, can't do anything about that. Oh, boy, this game just fell apart so quick. I can't gem the Sten still when they have a Jace in play, because then Jace just ticks up and kills me eventually. What was the planes? We're getting close. Yeah. If we can find one more white source, we can jam this Council's Judgment. Counterspell, come on, really? If we get one more white source, we can jam this Council's Judgment, answer that Jace. And then we find another mana source after that. We can snap Council's Judgment to answer the back to basics. And from there, we should hopefully be okay. We're in trouble, though. Yeah, I mean, I play some inopportune times. I play Standstill at inopportune times often. But on a board with like a Jace and whatnot, I can't jam a Standstill there, because at that point, like, they don't have to do anything further to beat me. Like, if they just like put like a small creature in play, like I have manlands that can eventually fight that. This matchup, that's a little less relevant because, you know, True Name's on board. Great. This is not Astral Slide. Oh boy, they have 4 cards in hand, so we're gonna... I think we have to try and jam this moat. I don't think we're gonna win this otherwise. We have to jam this moat, we have to have it resolve. They're fetching a card, so that means it's not gonna resolve. It's probably another counterspell. I'm gonna tilt a little bit. They're gonna laugh, they're gonna feel fun. Really? Snapcaster for a Spell Pierce? Are you kidding me? No. Alright. I don't want to play this out, but we're gonna continue playing. Right, Aaron? What do you get, the nerd that has everything? I know who you are, DN Solver. Curtis? Yeah. Or Gristlebrand, you said? Okay. I guess that is an appropriate name for you, since you know, you do spend a lot of time summoning the Dark Lord. Wow, this game just fell apart. This Jace is getting way out of control. Had to be Tundra, it couldn't be Floodstrand. Alright, so now we're gonna have a True Name wearing a Barraskull, so this is a very frightening aspect. This is a very frightening prospect here. That's a big clock. So we're going to take 9 a turn. They're going to gain 7 a turn. Jesus. Stand still. Perfect. Jesus Christ. I think we just got to snap Brainstorm here. I got to try and dig for a white source that's not a non-basic. I can't believe how bad this back to basics is like killing me right now. Like Blood Moon doesn't even hurt me this much. It's ridiculous. Supreme Verdict will be real good. I would love another basic planes, but unfortunately we don't have that here. Are we just dead? No, we can block one thing. So if they bounce our Snap Custom Mage, we're just dead here? Oh, Jesus. That's not good. Well, let's hope our opponent misses that play. If our opponent misses that play, we can maybe survive. Don't bounce my Snapcaster Mage. I need it to block. Yay, they drew cards. And they're drawing more cards. Apparently they didn't realize that Jace has a -1 ability. Even I noticed that. And now they've already used Jace, so we don't have to worry about that. So it's Swords, Plowshares, or Bust, or maybe Council Judgment or Bust. So we can definitely wipe their board. They still have Batterskull, which is going to be annoying, but we have Council's Judgment, which can get the Batterskull. Yes! Another true name. Overextend like I would. Perfect. Because that's totally a move that I would do. I'm great at the whole, oh, I'm super head on board and you're dead next turn. Let me just jam the second true name into a Toxic Deluge. Let me jam the second true name into a Supreme Verdict that I know about. I'm very good at that stuff. So if we can resolve this Council Judgment, I'm very tempted to just hit their back to basics, because Conclave can keep Jace in check. And we have standstills to keep their other cards in check, so I think that's what we're going for. Unfortunately, it's going to be over like 2 turns that we're going to be doing this, though. That's the only problem. The Batterskull also changes that. Yeah, left standstill on top. That's rude. Alright, so now we have to get the Batterskull off the board. And we have to fetch out another Tundra, because that was not a Flooded Strand. This is terrible. I really want to get rid of this, but we just have to get rid of the Batterskull, and they didn't. Maybe they'll vote for their back to basics and screw up. Maybe they'll pull an Aaron. They didn't. Okay. So we're at 1 life, so fetch lands are dead to us now. Oh no! They got it. Well, that's a 1-4 league for us. So we've played 3 or 4 leagues now. This is our worst showing. First couple showings we did really well with 12 posts, then we did really well with Astral Slides, so that was unfortunate. Yeah. Sad face. Alright. Well, this is Standard Replenish. We're going to talk about the deck again. Let me get a link back in the chat for you all if you all want to follow along. There you are. So we start with 23 land. We got Celestial Colonnade and Fairy Conclave, both creature lands with flying that get around our moat and under our standstill. Mana base is fairly regular for blue-white mana base after that. I guess the Wastelands are a little off because a lot of blue-white decks aren't running Wasteland currently. Apparently they like back to basics a lot. That's really frustrating. We have the 4 Tundras. We have 3 Polluted Deltas, 4 Flood Strand. Polluted Delta just being a blue fetch. Flood Strand just being a blue or white fetch. We have 4 islands, a Caracas, and 2 plains. So that's our mana base. It's been solid overall. Yeah, playing online so far, not going great for this deck, but we'll have to keep at it, keep practicing so we get used to it. Between the main board and the sideboard, we've got 3 Porphyry nodes. It's a great thing to just kind of, your opponent's dropping a couple creatures or a creature a turn, you know, you can just randomly plop a Porphyry nodes on board, and as long as the creature's not something like Gurmag Angler, you generally clear it off the board pretty quickly. It at least keeps ahead. Like, I can drop a Periphery Nodes and then drop a Standstill and let Porphyry Nodes slowly clean up the board. Especially if I have something like a Moat in play already. Because Moat will keep like all their ground creatures at bay. Porphyry Nodes will slowly clean up everything, and then Porphyry Nodes goes away. Moat's still there, and Standstill's in play, so it's fine. Especially relevant now, like after a Replenish or whatnot. 3 Swords of Plowshares, pretty standard. 1 white, exile target creature, its control gains life. 4 Brainstorm for the dig. 2 Spell Pierce, 1 Spell Snare. Spell Snare's been great against Thalia's, Stoneforge, Chalice at 1, things of that nature. It's also really great when you forget to cast it on a Pyretic Ritual against Belcher, and then they end up, getting you. That's always unfortunate. 2 Spell Pierce are just great early interaction when you have to fight on the stack against other blue decks, or protect something against like a Council's Judgment or some other type of removal from like the white decks, or like a Maelstrom Pulse, Planeswalkers. It's great against all that. It's a great catch-all. We're pretty soft to Planeswalkers main boards. Spell Pierce is generally a very good catch-all answer for those. The Elixir of Mortality is a failsafe, so if we've gone to a very late grindy game, we've cracked a lot of standstills, in which case it means we draw on a lot of cards. It allows us to reshuffle our deck and gain some life, so it actually helps us against like Burn and other aggressive decks, which has been relevant. So I'm actually pretty happy with it overall. 3 Snapcaster Mage. We're a spell-heavy deck. Snapcaster Mage rebuys all our spells. When we don't have a mode out, again, Snapcaster Mage can be like a weak attacker, but it is a clock nonetheless. Even if it gets in like the first 6, 8, 10 points of damage, whatever, like that makes it a lot easier for our Conclave or our Colonnades to finish up the game once a moat's in play. So that's what Snapcaster's here for. 4 Standstills. I mean, we are a standstill deck. We want to draw as many cards as possible. That's what Standstills does. It's 1 blue enchantment. When a player casts a spell, you sacrifice Standstill, and if you do, each of that player's opponents draw 3 cards. So ideally, it's going to be us that's drawing the 3 cards. There are those awkward situations where you have to let your opponent draw 3 cards. Then there's those fun situations we get later in the game, and you can, eventually just kind of chain Standstills, replenish, things of that nature to make your opponent draw way too many cards. Especially after like Ultimate Jace the Mind Sculptor or an emblem on Jace Fringe Prodigy. Mill is actually a real win condition for this deck. That's actually come up quite often. As you can see, like the creature suite's not exactly the most aggressive thing in the world. Pair of counter spells, just real good, real easy, just counter target spell. It's just a solid way to make sure like whatever your opponent's trying to cast, you have interaction for. Naturally, it's a little slower, so like against some of the faster decks, it's a little unfortunate when you start with a hand with a counter spell, and that's not fast enough to get there. Obviously, against like TES and Ant and whatnot, that can be a problem. Belcher, obviously, that's a huge problem, but I mean, still necessary to have. Search for Azcanta. That's a card I've been tweeting about a lot, and that's a card I've been talking about a lot. So it's a legendary enchantment from Ixalan. It's 1 in a blue, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you look at the top card of your library. See if I can do the full view of this now. And then you may put that card in your graveyard, and then if you have 7 more cards in your graveyard, you may transform it. So if you already have 7 cards, you don't put that card in your graveyard, you can still transform it, which is awesome. If you have 6 cards and then you dump that card, you can still transform it, which is great. And once you transform it, you get a legendary land, Azcanta the Sunken Ruin. Taps for a blue, and it's 2 in a blue. Tap it, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them, put them in your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So this card's been great, especially when I'm under a standstill. It's actually given me the opportunity multiple times where, like, my hand's getting really full, I've got a lot of land in play, I've been using this card over and over again over multiple turns. So I just decide to, okay, here's a Jace the Mind Sculptor into the standstill. You can draw 3 cards. Because I've drawn so many cards off the Azcanta the Sunken Ruin, generally whatever my opponent has in store to fire back at me, I'm ready for, because the card advantage between this card and just the way the deck runs in general, like I interact on the stack extremely well. So this card is just super relevant when you're under a standstill, and the fact that you can like kind of jam it and then flip it with a standstill is great. Jace Fringe Prodigy, as I mentioned earlier, transforms to Jace Telepath Unbound. The +1's been great against aggro decks. I've used it a lot against Burn, against like nerfing like Goblin Guides, Monastery Swift Spear, stuff like that. -3, you may cast target instant sorcery, gives an instant sorcery flashback, so you can cast from your graveyard, and if it would get put in the graveyard, you exile it instead. Then you -9, you get an emblem with whenever you cast a spell, target opponent puts up 5 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. That's been real big help. So originally when I first started running this deck, I had the Jace ultimate for the Jace the Mind Sculptor into standstills, which worked out really well, but having this in conjunction with that makes it even easier, where I can continue to just Jace Brainstorm with Jace the Mind Sculptor to fill my hand, make sure I have plenty of spells, make sure I have plenty of interaction. And then once I ultimate this, I can then start casting spells, like get a bunch of standstills in play, you know, cast more spells, and I've actually done a really good job of being able to mill out opponents that way. And again, mills become a huge portion of this deck's win conditions, which is savage to say the least. We got our 1-out Crucible to fill our 3-drop slot. As you might have seen if you've been watching for a little bit, as Lawrence suggested on a couple occasions, I should be, when I don't have something like a Force and Will in hand or whatnot, I should be waiting for Standstill on turn 3, where I can Standstill plus Spell Pierce or Standstill plus Swords to Plowshares. Makes it more likely, and I can like turn 2, you know, counterspell your thing, and then like Swords to Plowshares, exile your thing, play a Standstill, you know. It gives me a lot more options if I just wait. So like 3-drop slot is relatively empty, mostly for the reason I'm trying to cast a 2 and a 1 in the same turn, stuff like that. But Crucible Worlds is great with, you know, my fetch lands work really well with Jace, the Mind Sculptor. So like if I'm brainstorming with him, his 0 ability, every time I brainstorm with him, I can use a fetch land, you know, get a fresh look at the top cards. If I have Wasteland against greedier mana base, I can Waste Lock them. So Crucible World overall, I really love. It's great. I have the 2 moats. So moat is just creatures without flying can't attack. Very simple. It's a card I can jam on turn 4 if I want, and then turn 5 or turn, you know, or later. If I use Replenish or Starfield Nyx, even if it got answered, I can get it back generally, unless it's obviously Council's Judgment. Replenish is really why we're here. I started on 2, but I went to 1. Oftentimes I just really ever want to see 1, especially if I can get a Starfield Nyx in play. Starfield almost acts like a second Replenish. So Replenish is return all enchantment cards from graveyard to the battlefield. I found I loved having standstills and drawing cards so much that I wanted to have multiple standstills in play at once, and really the only way you do that is by returning them all to play more at once. There is the possibility where I can run Leyline of Anticipation, so I can just put a bunch on the stack and deter my opponent's turn all at once. So that is a possibility. So yeah, Replenish has been real good, especially when I'm running stuff like Porphyry Nodes. Like, it might kill like a creature or 2 and then go away. Replenish gives me a chance to buy back that Porphyry Node. So like, if I replenish with like a couple standstills and Porphyry Nodes in my graveyard, my opponent has a creature or 2. I'm not just screwed. Like, the Porphyry Nodes will answer those creatures, and the standstills will be in place. So if my opponent tries to cast spells, I'm going to draw all those cards. So it's actually worked out really well. Really like it. The deck in paper has been great. The deck online so far, I've got a lot of getting used to. It's just a matter of when you're holding the cards and flipping, you get to flick them and stuff, which is great. It's just a matter of getting used to not be able to do that, not be able to focus. Streaming obviously puts a little bit more strain on the thought process. I'm not very smart to start, and then streaming kind of makes that harder. So yeah, Supreme Verdict, great. It's a great catch-all against another person that thought we were here for Slide. I've got to do something about Twitch. That is just ridiculous. It's not supposed to say Slide anymore. So Supreme Verdict, as we saw against Blue White Stoneblade, I was able to answer a pair of True Name Nemesis, a Stoneforge Mystic, and unfortunately they had the end of turn Snapcaster Mage to put a new creature on board. But Supreme Verdict is great catch-all, like, oh shit button. Like, oh no, I have to make sure I answer all these creatures, can't worry about counter magic. Supreme Verdict gets through that. It's a little awkward against Gag Teague, but obviously that's a thing. 3 Jace the Mind Sculptor, again, great card advantage engine. You know, his +2 ticks him up real quick. His -12 it basically is a win condition. I'm glad you like Standstill still. I love Astral Slide. So I've already had several people want to see Astral Slide, so I'm just gonna do that on Thursday. I'm streaming Sunday at 8 p.m. and Thursday at 8 p.m. So Thursday we're just gonna do Astral Slide. We're gonna run through a league and, you know, have some fun. And if everyone that's here for Astral Slide, you know, make sure you join Thursday, and you'll get to see some action. So Starfield Nyx, 1 a turn, replenish basically. The other half of it is an Opalescence once you have 5 other enchantments that aren't auras, so like, you know, enchant creatures. Makes them all creatures with power and toughness equal to their converted mana cost. They're obviously still enchantments. Then obviously Force of Will, you need to be able to interact early on the stack sometimes. You need to be able to tap out and then still fight on the stack or stop what your opponent tries to do. It could ruin your day. Force of Will comes in handy there. Card advantage isn't great, but again, Standstill gives us so much card advantage. Search Can't does a ton of filtering, then gives us a lot of card advantage when we have mana extra. So it's been great. So yeah, Porphyry Nodes, which we already talked about because they're in the main board as well. Supreme Verdict we already talked about, it's in the main board as well. So we got a pair of Fluster Storms to help us fight against combo. It's the Storm, 1 mana Force Spike for instants or sorceries. So if your opponent does like Storm or whatever, you cast Fluster Storm, 1 target per copy, you counter all the copies. It's great, It's real nice 1 mana answer. Surgical Extraction's there for our graveyard-based combos. So like we brought it in against Thopter Sword combo, but we ended up just taking like a Tezzerator for it. And then it's great against, like Dredge for getting rid of like Icarids or Bridges or whatever it may be. They get like a bunch of Dark Weevils in play, Prize Amalgams, you just eat those. Seal Cleansing and Aura of Silence are there for our Artifact and Enchantment matchups. So they both have the ability of sacrifice that for like basically a disenchant, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Aura Silence is a little more heavy duty. You get that in play early. Artifact and enchantment spells your opponent's cast cost 2 more to cast. The tax is real, especially a lot of times when your opponent's trying to cast things like a Lodestone Golem. If they're trying to cast things like, Chalice for 1 becomes 4 mana, Chalice for 2 becomes 6 mana. So it stacks up real quick, and then it sacrifices to destroy 1, which is great. And then obviously these two having the sacrifice to destroy it puts them in my graveyard, which then search the Starfield Nyx or Replenish can return them to play. So it gives us the opportunity to rebuy them again, to rebuy the effect again, which is very good for us. We get the pair of Council Judgment. This is mostly for Planeswalkers because Planeswalkers are definitely a weakness considering we're so light on creatures. It becomes really difficult for us to, unless we can beat the Planeswalker on the stack, it becomes really difficult for us to actually answer a Planeswalker. Obviously a Colonnade or a Conclave can keep a Planeswalker in check or answer it. But Council Judgment's a much cleaner answer if we can cast it and resolve it, which generally we will be able to. And then the 3 Leyline Sanctity here for fast combo. Again, we brought these in against Belcher, but it wasn't relevant because they went empty both second and third game against us. They belched us out the first game. Second game what happened second game? They cast empty. I think we had a Verdict in hand. And then third game, I don't remember what happened third game. Third game they emptied and we couldn't find anything relevant, so we lost. Something like that. Yeah. So Leyline of Sanctity is here to stop stuff like Tri-Belcher on turn 1. It's here to stop stuff like Storm when, they have all the discard, they have Tendrils as a win condition. So Leyline of Sanctity is a great way to answer things of that nature. It also obviously helps against Burn because throwing fire at our face just kills us after several turns. But it also means our Planeswalkers are safe against Burn because throwing fire at our face can't be redirected at Planeswalkers if they can't target us. So Leyline of Sanctity pulls double duty as far as that goes. And it's great to have a Jace the Mind Sculptor that sits around for a while. Because, the card advantage on Jace the Mind Sculptor just slowly stacks up. So it's pretty good. If anyone has questions, feel free to ask. I do have to return these cards because I don't know if you noticed from my overlay, but we officially have a partnership with Card Hoarder. We have a loan account where we can borrow cards. We do have restrictions, so some of the creativity that I could come up with might be a little restrictive, but I'll be able to actually stream more of my brews more often. I'll be able to stream, like, if I want to try something in Standard, if I want to try something in Modern, if I want to try something in Legacy, Vintage, anything like that, like, I'll be able to stream, like, random brews. So it might be an article you might see that comes out by me. It could be just a random brew I have that's on the back burner that I've been waiting to talk about. You could get a surprise, stream event where I'm playing something really random, something really spicy and sweet. And now that we have access to a much larger base of cards, it'll be a lot easier for me to do that. I only have so much money to buy so much digital product. Yeah, thank you very much, Card Hoarder, for that. And I'm obviously here at Hipsters of the Coast. If you have questions, please ask them now, because I'm going to close up the stream and get these cards returned shortly. Just waiting on the chat delay at this point. I was going to pull this up for everyone to look at if they want interested in Astral Slide. What about adding Ancient Tomb, more Moat, and Saranib Efrit? I'm assuming you're referring to the 2 and a blue, 3/4, beginner upkeep, it heals 1 to you and it flies. I think that's what the card is. I gotta make sure MTG bot is tied in so we can do the exclamation point card thing. So Ancient Tomb, I think over several turns is going to be a liability. Mostly just because the 2 damage is definitely really relevant. And if I'm going to have colorless sources, it's going to be something like Mistress Factory. It's not particularly going to be something like an Ancient Tomb where I'm just taking so much damage over turns. More Moat is possibly okay. There is the awkward thing where like you are stuck on Snapcaster Mages and you want to start pushing some damage. And then Moat being a 4-mana white enchantment. Having the double white sometimes can be a little awkward because if we have to fetch out basics to avoid Wasteland, we can't always just fetch the plains. And having 4 of them is just super redundant. Like having anything past the first doesn't add anything. Like having 2 is nice to be safer from like a Crow's Grip or a Nature's Claim or whatever removal, like a Council's Judgment, whatever removal you might be seeing. But having like a 3rd or a 4th, I think is just overkill. Sacrosanctum. Sacrosanctum is something I've recently really thought about. If I was going to go with Sacrosanctum, I'd probably be a little more enchantment heavy than I am currently, and I don't know if that's correct. The only reason I think that I would have to go a little bit more enchantment heavy is because Sacrosanctum at the moment, like I have like 4 standstills of Periphery Nodes. All those early plays I have that make a Sacrosanctum relevant early all go away really easy. Like the moment my opponent doesn't have a single creature, my Porphyry Nodes goes away, and that's 1 less mana Sacrosanctum if it can make a mana at all. Standstills, the moment my opponent casts a card, standstills go away, so now Sacrosanctums drop for each one of those. So that's the only thing that I'd be concerned with. Probably add Leylands with Sanctum. So I'm tempted to add something like a Leyline of Anticipation to this deck. So it gives me another out to be like, okay, end of your turn, stand still. My turn? Cool. So that way I can, like, you know, actually just do that at the end of my opponent's turn. So I'm not always tapping out on my turn and I'm always in speed, but that's just, that's bad. I'm janky. I'm real janky. I think adding a bunch of Leylines to the main board with a Sanctum is just going a little too much. Like, at that point, like, I'm basically edging towards playing Leylines. And that's not particularly where I want to be, unfortunately. Like, that deck seems like fun. And, hey, maybe some night for a, you know, stream, if there's enough of a request for it or something, I can run that deck. And then, you know, we'll have some fun just trying to turn 1 people like that. But right now, I'm not really sold on Leylines. Sanctum, I'm a little closer to, but still not really sold on it, unfortunately. Anyone else have any other questions? So I put Astral Slide up on the screen, so that way y'all can check it out while I'm talking about this other deck. This is what we'll see on Thursday. This deck I actually own, so it's actually good. I have access to the deck all the time, so if I do decide to do an impromptu random stream and can't get access to something else, this or 12 posts is generally what I play. All in, add Siren Power and Leylines. Yeah, again, we're talking about playing the Leylines deck where I'm good. Not interested at all. Siren Power is like, it's good to mulligan and not have to lose the card advantage. It's really bad to get rid of some really good cards in your deck because you have 2 bad cards in your hand. And when there's 4 Siren Powers in your deck, that means there's 4 really bad cards in your deck. Outside of like the mulligans. We're not like a deck like Belcher or like Oops All Spells or like Dredge and Vintage where you need precise like 2 or 3 cards. Or, you know, Vintage Dredge case, 1 very specific card. So I can't do that. It's just not happening. Like Leylines does run Siren Powder, and I may stream it at some point, but at the moment, that's not even close to where I want to be. Thanks for the suggestion, though. Does anyone else have any questions? See who else is in here. Can't picture there's that many people left. Yeah, a bunch of people have come out. So I'm going to have Rich take cards for me now. If any of you want to, you know, if any of you want to reach out to me at any point in time, I'll always take questions. I'll take requests on brews, anything like that. Just reach out to me at Aaron Gazaniga on Twitter. So That's AARONGAZZANIGA, and you can actually see that on the overlay right there next to the little birdie. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you Thursday for some Astral Slide action. Thank you.